Okay, now can you guys hear me? This should be better. I'm pretty sure I figured it out. Oh, you definitely don't want me. You would much rather me have a muted mic than me sing to you, Andrew. Hey, Sam. Okay, so real quick, I'm just gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna beep the expletive, but I effing hate OBS sometimes. I don't know what the frick happens, but it always changes my settings. If something crashes, like if the game crashes or my PC crashes, it automatically switches all of my frickin' settings, and then I have no clue what's going on until stuff like this happens. It's so stupid. Anyways, rant out of the way. Hey, thank you, I appreciate it, man. How many soldiers can you have in Manor Lords max? Probably around like 600, 600 if you like get all of your troops and you get all the mercenary. No, you could probably have more than that. You could probably have like 800. But normally you're going to have, 5 or 6 retinue and 6 militia if you do it right. Hey, Captain Vodka. Voice might be clipping. Oh, yeah. It's because I turned the volume up. Hang on. Yeah, I had the volume set up perfectly before all this happened. Now it should be... Oh, nice. It's not going to let me do it now. Test. Okay, that should be better. It shouldn't be clipping now. I'm not hitting the red. Okay, finally we can get to work, man. Holy crap, that was annoying. It wasn't even that long of a problem, but... Anyways. It sucks because I hate having you guys wait around. But anyways, we're good. Let's, Hey, Jan. What else we got? Nam, Hans, Asphalt, Judge Dredd. Okay, so if anybody has questions, feel free to ask. That's kind of the whole point of this, but if there's no questions, I'm just gonna launch into a game and start working on getting a testing town set up. I was saying before, I lost all my saves because I updated to the release patch compared to what the content creator patch was, and there's a few changes I wanted to test, and I ended up losing all my saves. Can I somehow get more external traders? I am floating in resources like tools, roof tiles, merchants stop by, but I can sell. Yeah, Vampiro. There's ways to get around it, but you can't really do it with just one town. Or you can do it with one town, but you have to rotate goods in. If you have too many goods, they will only send one trader. To answer your question, no, they will only send one trader when you buy the trade route. And if you're along the King's Road, they will stop by and buy, 1 or 2 at a time, something like that. So the best way to do it is to bulk stuff up. So you build near the edge of the map that the trader comes in at. So just move your trade post there and then set up a ton of warehouses behind it on the road and have those warehouses limited to only carrying the stuff that you're selling at the trade post. And then what you want to do is you want to turn off at your main warehouses those items so that they only go to the warehouses near the trade post. Then what you do is you do one item at a time. You turn on trading for, let's say, tools first. Let's say you want to spam out, 100 of them. Well, you can't really do that now though, because they changed the trading. You get the price drops and then they won't buy it. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, the solution I found for the problem you ran into is no longer valid. So unfortunately, but anyways, yeah, let's, like I said, I'm not going to mess with this too much. I just want to get, you know what, let's do it with the combat. I don't see why not. Test setup. You know what, yeah, doing the test things are really boring. Let's do something interesting. I see a lot of people, I've already checked in on a couple different streams, and they put in their clickbait title like, oh, the hardest challenge. All they did was they like turned on aggressive or something like that. It's like, come on, you guys are obviously clickbaiting. So we're going to literally do the hardest challenge. So we're going to change the rating all the way max. Raids start from year 1, 5 bandits. 5 bandit camp spawn limit. We're going to start in winter. We have no starting gear, no starting supplies at all. We don't get any armament. Residents are demanding and they give a high penalty, and then the weathers do it. So literally everything's maxed, and then claim all regions to win is the harder one. So did he answer the? I did, but I didn't have my mic going. I'll get to it in just a second, Midnight. But really, as soon as you research the apple orchardry, you should be able to add it as an extension to anything that has an open one. So it should just show up. Okay, let's do this. I probably need to do this like 4 or 5 times before we get one that sticks. This is a really hard start, and it's a little bit RNG, but yeah. Is there combat only mode? No, not yet. No, not yet. There may be, but it's not in yet. If they plan on doing it. The efficiencies of screwdriver? Yeah, that's tough. Why have more than one family in a building if the most efficient is just one family? Yeah, most of you, I agree with that, actually. I do not build duplexes anymore, and I also don't like going to tier 3 because then you get a second family in there. It's actually better not to do that. If I send tools to my second region and sell tools there too, will spawn a second external. Yes, it will spawn in a second external, but the problem is the trade. When it says that the trade supply is scuffed, you know, if you flood the market with too many goods of one type, it actually is a global price. So the price will drop for all your regions, not just that one. So if you just want to get rid of stuff, then yeah, you're fine. You're going to sell it at one gold each. If you're fine with that, that's fine. I'm just telling you now, you're better off turning it off and then doing something else. So. Can you give my friend Jack Ingolf a hi? Hey, Jack Ingolf. Big fan of yours. I appreciate it. Thank you. Is it worth assigning workers to Granier storehouses in the early game? Yes, Northwolf, it's absolutely worth it. You're going to need to micromanage it, though. Don't leave them on it. You need to turn them on as soon as something gets close to being full, and then turn them off and put them back to work somewhere else. Okay, so this is kind of a tough start. You usually want to be near berries and wild animals for this start. Reason being is you need the extra food to get a little bit more approval increase. So this is probably going to be a fail, but we're going to do it anyways. How efficient things can be, and then watching other content creators, how bad they are. Yeah, I know. Oh, Jack, I see what you're saying. You got me. Fortunately, I don't know how to read very well, so it didn't go as you planned, I imagine. Okay, so first thing we need to get... Yeah, this is going to be rough. Our food's not even near us. So when you start with no goods, you literally get one timber camp and that's it. You have no supplies for anything else. So we're going to just put it right here in the middle. It's close to all the other stuff. It's not going to be efficient for the wood, but we just need to get something down as soon as we can. Have you stopped playing Manor Lords? No, Gaming Bear, no. I mean, I did for now just because I need to get some stuff out for Manor Lords, but I'm going to do more Manor Lords soon. Didn't really go as planned, yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, I did that bit at school, and the teacher got really pissed at me. It was, the joke is, if your friend Jack got stuck on the roof, would you help Jack off? And she got really pissed, and I got sent to the principal's office. So, yeah, I am familiar with those. Yeah, I think the game's pretty well optimized. Yeah, I think so. Alright, so we need to spam people in here. Three on the logging camp. We have a lot of logs we need to get. And we need to very quickly get some houses set up. We need to get all these messages off of our screen. Okay, this is actually wild animal rich deposit, so we could technically do double. I'm going to do double just for now. Let's set the minimum up to 20. Alex, yeah, it's live, and the cost is dependent on where you live, actually. So it's hard to say. It depends on where you're at. So as of right now, we're getting massive debuffs for homelessness, for hunger, not having clothes, and not having firewood. So we need to get all three of those done as soon as we can. So let's go ahead and put something to collect some firewood. And then we need to save up enough to get a tannery down. You have to get these down. The homelessness is actually not that big of a deal when you compare it to the other 3 stacking up together. So you want refund from the game? Yeah, go refund it. I mean, they advertised it as being pretty heavy on the combat, but it's definitely not. So I get why some people would think that or feel that way. I personally love the game, but I could see why if you were into city builders, how this would not be a fun game. All right, we're gonna pull one person off logging camp, put them on the woodcutters lodge. Again, we need to get all these up, and then we need to start building houses ASAP. Yeah, the tannery needs to get up, and once we have those 3 and we get a couple houses up, we're out of the danger zone. We're probably gonna lose 1 or 2 families here, is my guess. There's, I don't think any way of avoiding it at this point, because our setup was not very good in the beginning. We got kind of hosed on the RNG. Trying to get 3 houses here with the extensions, but they're giving me these fat ones. I don't want the fat ones. That's the problem. If you don't have at least enough lumber to do 5 at once, then you're kind of tough. This game is for advanced players. Kind of. If you put it on the easiest setting, it's really not that hard. But if you put this on, like the one I'm doing right now, this is really hard. Like, there's no way I could have even attempted this if I didn't have, you know, 60 or 80 hours into the game already and done all the testing, and it's pretty tough. You really have to have a good understanding of how the game mechanics work. All right, now that we have somebody in there, we need a little bit more wood. We need to get houses up. Like I said, we're going to lose people. I don't think there's any avoiding it. Yeah, we don't have enough for 5, but we do need to get 4 started, so let's go a little closer. All right, sweet. We can actually get 4, and they're reasonably sized. Let's do that. It was promoted. Yeah, if you look at the trailers are pretty heavy on the combat. But, you know, like I said, people should do their research. Like, I personally knew that it was heavy on the city building. But, you know, if you just watch a clip, or if you watch another YouTuber and they're only showing clips from combat, then you would probably assume that it's just going to be exactly that. So I get it. I understand both sides of it. All right, we need to get three marketplace stalls up. There we go. Food, that'll help. So we'll have food covered. We need to get 1 more person. Let's do that right now. Actually, let's get 1 person making leather. The leather will be fine. Once we get 5 pieces of leather, we don't have to have him working at all for the rest of the year. There's 4. Yeah, we're looking good, actually. This is actually looking pretty good. All right, we don't want that. It's going to make us do a double wide, isn't it? I do not want double wide. So the reason you don't want duplexes is because families will reserve more resources than the burgage plot will raise the limit at the stall itself. So it's kind of a bad thing to do. And you should avoid it if you can. So here we go. We should be okay, actually. We should be just fine. I think we're out of the danger zone. It's pretty easy to lose your villagers in the early game if you don't get stuff up quick. How can 2 settlements in the same region share resources? So, like, let's say if I build a town right here and I built another one right here, they're all technically in the same region. So, yeah, anything built within this guideline, this red outline, is going to be the same region. So if you want to, like, let's say you want to send, let's say you built farm stuff up here and you built, you know, wood production down here, you want to send the wood up there, then what you would need to do is we'd need to have a warehouse worker up here go down there and grab some of the wood and bring it back up. It's probably not worth it. It's better to have like 1 big town and then have branches that send resources back to 1 rather than having 2 big towns. Is it worth? No. Vampiro. I used to think the duplexes were a good idea. I found out recently how the market stall actually works, and it's actually bad. I don't want to say it's bad, but it's inefficient to have duplexes, because what ends up happening, so here's, and this is going to be coming up in a guide, this is going to be a little confusing and I'll try my best to explain it, but essentially every burgage plot that you have increases the amount of goods that you can have in the stall. So for example, right now we have only 2 plots right now there's 5 being built, but only 2 are technically built. So you can see in here the maximum we can have of any one good is 2. You can't, even though we have 5 people that need it, only 2 are going to get it. As soon as these 5 are built, then you can get up to 5. The problem is, let's say if this one was a duplex, there would be 2 families here, and then the other 4 would have 1 family. That would be 6 families, but only 5 burgage plots. So then your needs would be 6 every day, but your market stalls can only hold 5. So you would always be, for every duplex that you have and for every 3-unit burgage plot you have, you will always be behind your market stalls. Your market stalls will always be short 1 times however many duplexes and extra families you have. So my personal opinion, 1 house, 1 family, as much as you can. And if you get into the late game and you want to start, going up to the higher settlement limits, get up there, get your perks, delete them, and then go back to level 2 burgage plots. Don't use burgage plot level 3s, because if you have only level 2s and they're single families, you can have 100% coverage all the time. If you don't care about that and your approval's still going up, that's fine. It's not a big deal, but it's something that bugs me. So. Does a duplex regular house and an add-on house? Yes, correct. Yeah, so this right here is a duplex. So this is a duplex. This is 1 family. This is a duplex. So as soon as you go into here, and here's the messed up part, and I learned this the hard way. Even if you don't build the second house, it automatically reserves resources for that house as if the second family was there. They don't even have to be there, and the duplex doesn't even have to be built. It will automatically take supplies away from another house to fill this one first. It's pretty stupid in my opinion, but that's how the game is, so you just got to work with it. Is there ever a good use for duplex houses? My personal opinion, not really. I mean, if you know you're going to have houses that are going to be short on supplies, don't upgrade the high tier ones to be duplexes. Always upgrade the ones on the outskirts of your town that you don't care if they're upset. So I don't know, something like that. Yeah, the issue with the houses, because like I said, even if it's not turned into a duplex, and even if the house doesn't have a second family living there, it automatically cuts the limit down. So yeah, it's kind of a confusing system, to be honest, and that's why it took me a really long time to figure that out. Like I had to do testing, and I stared at several test cities for like 10 to 15 hours collecting data and trying different things to see if I could figure it out. And I finally realized what the heck was going on. Okay, so you can see here we have 4 houses built up. Now the cap goes up to 4. The stall guy, there we go. So now he's at 4. And then when the 5th one gets built, they're going to go up to 5. And then as soon as you get that up, then you stop getting these up here, these approval losses. So, hey, equal. Finally able to watch the videos now. Yeah, I know. Did anything change from the version influence received? Yes, paper, big time. Well, okay, I don't want to say big time, but there were some pretty big changes. So chicken coops got their production reduced by half. So they used to do 2 a month. Now they only produce 1 per month. So pretty bad. They're still usable, but you can't spam them early game because of how expensive they are. And then the other big thing is trade. So they added a function where if you trade too many of one item, either buying or selling, it'll make that item either expensive or cheaper, depending on if you're buying or selling. So you can't run the same easy mode trade empires like you were able to on the influence one. So it's very different now. The game feels very different, I would say. If you're used to doing a lot of trade, it feels different for sure. How important are iron mines? It depends. It depends. So this iron mine is limited. It will run out. We only have 55. Actually, that's not very much. If you're trying to supply weapons here, that's obviously not going to cut it. Or if you're trying to produce weapons for sale over the long term, then yeah, you can't do it here. This is not going to work. You need to have the resource-rich deposit so you can get the unlimited deep mining, and then you can continue indefinitely. But as of right now, we would have to either import by paying the import price, or we would need to take over another piece of land like this one and then import the iron back to them. So yeah, no more trade cheesing. It's way harder. What happens if you lose a battle? So like, let's say if we try and claim a piece of land and the AI contests us, if we lose the battle, they take over the land. If the AI is trying to take over land and we contest them, if we lose, then they automatically get the land anyway. So not really. You just lose your troops. That's really the biggest thing. You're a very analytical thinker. Yeah, I appreciate that, John. Yeah, it's not, there's not too many people that play games like that, but for me personally, I enjoy them more when I can do that. So I imagine there's other people out there like us as well. So yeah, it's, to me, it's more fun this way. All right, this guy needs to drop off his leather. So when you're doing the early game micromanagement stuff, the clothing stall, just make sure you have enough to cover all your houses and then pull them off. The stall worker doesn't need to be there to distribute the goods. The stall distributes the goods automatically. The only thing the stall worker does is restock the inventory. And clothing lasts for a full year. So if you have 5 in there and you don't increase your population for a year, you will have 100% coverage without a worker being there. So we don't need him there once we get 5. For some reason, he's not. There he goes. He's going to take it right now. Hey, Yorkie. That is called passion. Yeah, I was going to say absolutely and exactly at the same time, but I couldn't get either of those words out. Okay, so now you can see right here, he's not going to take anything past 5 because we only have 5. So having the worker here is completely useless. Pull him off and have him do something else. So we have 2 timber. We need more timber, but the problem is there's no trees right here. This was a temporary fix, and we do need to move it. So let's go ahead and move it probably back to this wood line. Or this one, I guess. We could do this one. Yeah, why don't we do this one? Because if we build here, we're just going to tear the trees down anyways. We might as well get some use out of it. So we can put it back here without wrecking all the trees. We'll just put it. So if you hover over trees, it'll tell you how many trees are going to get destroyed by doing it. So, and if you just kind of jiggle it around, you get to a spot where it doesn't ruin the trees. Obviously, you need more trees when you're moving these because that's the whole point of those buildings is to get more trees. So there we go. So that's going to move. We'll have more room to build stuff here, and we should have a better income of logs. In any case, when you should build double family burgage plot instead of single one, a wife on an acrobat, I probably would not build duplexes until they get that sorted. Or if you know, so here's how the market stalls work. Every item that I have in stock right now get distributed based on who's closest first, and then the next one, and then the next. So for example, this food stall is closest to this house, then to this house, and then so on down the line. If we had another neighborhood right here, then it would go to these, and then it would switch to these next. You always want to keep in mind if you're making a duplex, it means that you're going to have another house that's not getting any supply. So my personal opinion, if you're going to do duplexes, have them out in the middle of, at the edge of your town so that they are the ones that don't get the supply. Because then it doesn't really matter. They're going to stay burgage plot level 1 the whole time anyway, so it's probably not a big deal. So just build them on the outside of your town and make sure the ones on the interior are the ones that you can upgrade to level 2. And if you really need to, then level 3. Charcoal burning is really good, North Wolf. Yes. So it's actually a great question. So fuel right now, we have only one type of fuel, and it's firewood. And we have a max of 5, but you can see they use firewood very quickly. So it's hard for the stall to keep up with the supply. So generally what you want to do is you want to have 2 types of firewood because they actually don't overlap. So for example, we have 5 burgage plots and we can only have 5 firewood. But if we have charcoal, then we could actually have 10 possible firewood substitutes for the firewood. So it's as if you have firewood and charcoal, it's almost impossible to have less than 100%. So multiplayer PvP, I have no clue, Paper. Yeah, you're asking the wrong person. I haven't touched multiplayer games in a while. I used to play only multiplayer when I was younger, but now that I've got kids, I just can't. It's too hard. I have to pause the game and get up and, you know, do stuff all the time. So let's relocate this. One thing that we're also going to need to do is get some stone. There's a stone right there. How much do we have in it? 200. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, 200 is not bad at all. So the next step is we really need to get a church. So homelessness, we averted that. Now the church needs to be done. Yeah, they nerfed trade hard. They nerfed it big time. Kind of what I was hoping they would do, and it makes it so you actually have to play the game and use all the mechanics rather than just skipping everything, so... Yeah, so here's kind of your, if you're playing on an easier mode, your priorities can be very different, but if you're playing on the hardest mode, where people get really pissed and they'll leave your town very quickly, your priority should be securing a source of food. The hunting camp for sure. Don't do the berries, do the hunting camp first. So the hunting camp will give you hides and meat, so you'll be satisfying two things with one building. And then your woodcutter lodge will handle the firewood, that's no big deal. And then you need to get housing down. Once you get those three, then your next priority should be church level, so that you can actually get some positive immigration. Smell is not in yet. Nope, still work in progress. All right, let's get these built. So we're relocating our logging camp so we can have a better source. You can see these are not actual trees that we can take, or they're not mature. Yeah, so they're not quite there yet. We also need to get, yeah, shoot. I'm gonna probably make the warehouses right here, so why don't we just put a warehouse down? It'd be nice to get a warehouse. We can't do a granary yet because we don't have stone, so we're gonna get a warehouse or a storehouse and a granary, and then we're gonna work on... the enemy baron does not build anything. No, not yet. But I'm pretty sure they changed the AI behavior too, because they're a lot more aggressive. Like before they were pretty passive, but right now they're just... Like this guy's already sending mercenaries in to clear up bandit camps. And they use that income to claim more provinces, and then they'll eventually start claiming yours. I've never had that happen before, and I just had one where he tried to claim my home territory. It was a pretty good battle. Rallied about production in your analysis video, check the garden size production. Oh yeah, so wife, good question. If you have, so let's look at it this way. Let's say you're trying to do the long one so that you can get a veggie garden, right? So let's say it's obviously too long. Let's make it a little more reasonable. Let's say for this, is it better? So your question is it better to have 4 with 4 smaller? Or is it better to have 2 duplexes with 2 bigger ones? And actually the answer is they're the exact same. So my personal opinion is you should never build duplexes ever. Even if it means you're using space more efficiently to get a second family in here, my personal opinion is don't do it, because all you're doing is you're taking food away from another plot. Like look how much space you have. You have so much space. And here's the other thing to keep in mind. As long as you don't have double families in any of your plots, you will always be able to get 100% market supply to everybody. It's the only time you will have supply shortages, no matter what you do, is if you have double families, either a duplex or a level 3 burgage plot. So if I build, let's say if I build, I'll give you a ridiculous example, but let's say I build a house right here. And then let's say I build another house right here. Right, let's say I have 5 houses, 5 houses, 5 houses. And then my market stall's right here. As long as my market stall is fully stocked, every one of these houses will get full supply, no matter what. They will always get supply because it's transported to them instantly. So you have to don't think of markets as you would think a human being would work, right? If they lived out here, they would have to travel all this way to go get the supplies. Don't think like that, because that's not how the mechanic works. Think of it like this. All you care about is this number right here. What is my coverage? Do I have 100% coverage? Great, I could put that house anywhere. Do I have 100% fuel coverage? Great, I could put the house literally anywhere and it won't make a difference. Now, obviously, you want to put your houses near workplaces so their commute to work is better, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, don't worry about where your housing and your marketplaces are. Like, I put a marketplace right here just as a temporary. I'm going to delete this soon. They don't need to be near the houses. They need to be near warehouses, so... Yeah, it's going to be hard to go after bandits because we don't have any weapons. We don't have any money. This is the hard start where we start with absolutely nothing. Let's get somebody on... Yeah, there we go. 1 on wood, 1 on stone. We're going to need... Yeah, we don't have anything. We have no timber, no stone. But like I said, we have time. What we have on our side is time. We have a little bit of time. we're not really in danger of losing people anymore, so that's good. Just keep an eye on our goods and making sure that things are staying topped up. No, workplaces do not act as housing, GTA. That's a good question. You would imagine they would, right? Because that's how they used to be. They would have housing in the upstairs and then stores on the downstairs. Josh, yes, I said that markets had a range, and I was absolutely wrong. So that was back before. I just recently figured out how markets actually work. I literally created 2 or 3 towns, and all I did was watch the marketplace and, you know, changed a few variables to see how it actually worked. And I finally cracked the code. I figured it out. So they do not have a range. They absolutely do not have a range. JP, first weapon, I'm probably going to go archers. Just because it's the easiest to do and we can kite the bandits. So that shouldn't be a problem. Now, 2 on food is probably not something we need to do. Let's go ahead and get our market stall down, or our storehouse. Yeah, no problem, Josh. Yeah, that's a good point. It's tough with these early access games because, especially this one. This one is deceptively complex. It looks pretty simple, right? You think, okay, well, all I got to do is, if I want food, I get wheat. I crush it into flour, I turn it into grain, I turn it into bread, and then I eat it. There's a lot of mechanics that seem simple, but they're actually quite difficult to understand. So this game can definitely sneak up on you. I'll just put it that way. Is farming actually worth it? Yeah. So the thing that I didn't like about farming is the yields were really low. I'm almost positive they adjusted the yields. Like, the emmer yields are way higher now. So you can actually get a decent yield even if you're not in a high rich soil area. So flax, yeah, flax would be rough here, but you could probably do it. Barley, you can get a little bit just to sustain, but it's probably going to be a tough one. How do the markets work then? As I had Carbe. So if you had houses that were not getting market coverage, the most likely scenario is that you had duplexes or level 3 burgage plots that had extra families. So I'll repeat it again. I know I covered it already, but I'm going to do it one more time because, again, this is a very complex thing and it's really hard to understand unless you're actually doing research and all that. It's kind of silly how they did it, but so every burgage plot that you have, don't think families, don't think duplex, single family, don't think that. Just think burgage plot. Every time you put a house plot down, no matter how many houses are on it, that will raise how many market supplies you can have. So right now I have 5 spots for houses. Whether these are single, double family, doesn't matter. It will increase the amount of supplies that I can have up to 5. The amount of resources that you need to keep everybody at 100% is based on how many families you have. So if you have 5 spots and 5 families, you have a 1-to-1 ratio, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. You will always be able to have 100% coverage if you have the supplies and your supplies are close enough to where they can ferry the goods in there quick enough as they deplete, right? Like if my market stalls are really far from the granary of the storehouse, it's as soon as these get eaten, it's going to take them time to walk back there, grab more supplies and bring them back. So you need to have your markets as close to your storehouse and your granary as possible. As close as possible. Don't have them near the houses. Have them as close, because then that cuts down their travel time and they can upgrade it fast. Anyways, back to it. So house plots. Every burgage plot that you have increases the amount of the limit that you can have in the stalls. Every family reserves 1 of each based on how many families you have. So if you have 5 plots, but you have more than 1 family in each plot, then you will always guarantee yourself that you'll have a food shortage and a clothing shortage for every 1 family that you have doubled up in a house. So if I have 5 duplexes and only 5 pieces of land, then you already know that only 2.5 of these, that's a bad example. Let's say I had 4 duplexes and 4 pieces of land. 2 of these would get full supply and 2 of them would get 0 supply. So your families and your burgage plots need to match. And every time it doesn't match, you're gonna have a shortage no matter how much. Let's say if I had 1 million food in my inventory, it doesn't matter because the market stall will only let you have as much as you can and as much as you have burgage plots. So 1 million food does you no good if you can only fit 5 and you need 10. So hopefully that makes sense. But anyways, that's the thing. A few of my guides are kind of inaccurate. I have to go back and watch them. I know for sure the eggs, the one I just did yesterday where I used eggs as an example, it's going to be off a little bit, but it's an easy fix. You just, instead of building 5, you build 10. It's no big deal. Thinking min-maxing, just have 3 stalls, 2 warehouses and 1 granary next to it, and then have warehouse granary. Yeah, you could. That's good for a small town, as long as your population doesn't get too high and they don't need too many goods. The problem arises when you have like so here's a good example. That's actually a good example. So take food for an example. Right now we only need 2 types of food, right? So at most we can keep 100% coverage with 3 stalls up to 25 houses, because we can have 25 of each, and these are maxed at 25 total inventory. So we could have 25 of one food and 25 of another food. Let's say if we had burgage plot level 3 and they need 3 food types, that means you would need 25 of each. So you would have 25, 25, and then you would need another food stall for the other 25. So that'd be 75 total. So you always have to adjust your max based on how many plots you have. Sorry, not how many plots you have, how many families you have. That will determine how many stalls you need. And then, so the limiting factor is never going to be fuel. It's always food and clothing, with food being more likely than clothing because there's more need there. So generally, if you make sure that you have enough food stalls, you will generally have enough fuel and clothing. Although sometimes the AI gets screwy and then they put extra stalls that they don't need. So can a vegetable plot be too big? No, it can't be too big. I mean, if it's really big, then literally all they'll do is work the vegetable garden. You won't have anybody working elsewhere. But yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I would say don't make it bigger than like 4. I would generally try and keep it between 3 and 4 house. So because there's no measurements on this, it's kind of hard to tell. But here, when I say house size plots, this is what I mean by a house size plot. I hate when it does that. It's fine. Do it right here. So this is too wide. So this right here is like the smallest size house that I can make. So when I say with the vegetable gardens and the apple orchards, this is the unit of measurement. When I say, oh, 1 house size plot or 2 house size plots, then it would be 2 of these, right? So it'd be 1, 2. This would be 2 house size plots, and then you would have your house on the front, right? So you'd have your house in the front, and then two lengthwise for the veggie gardens in the back. I probably wouldn't go more than 4. You could do 4. 5 is even okay. I noticed they struggle a little bit with 5 to do it, and they'll end up harvesting throughout wintertime, which is fine. They can harvest in winter. It's not a big deal. But yeah, you do lose a little bit of efficiency then. So I would probably keep it 3 to 4 house sizes big, with my preference being like around the 4. I like the 4. And then just do the singles. Don't do duplexes. Just 1 house, and then 4 house-sized plots behind it with veggie garden, and same thing with the apple orchard, and then you'll be good to go. Oh, the other thing. So this is another point, and I know nobody asked, but that's maybe because people haven't got to that point yet. So let's say I have 20 families, right? Every family eats 1 food per month, which means I need to have, if I only have 1 food type, I need to have at least 20 of that food worth of income every month to sustain. If you have 2 food types, then that cuts it down in half. So then you would need, let's say I have meat and veggies. In 20 families, I would only need 10 meat and 10 veggies. And let's say I have 4 food types. You know, you would need less and less. Or no, sorry, that's how much gets used. You still need to make sure you cover the maximum though, because what ends up happening is they will distribute the food to all the houses. They will distribute all the food they have to the closest house first. And then when they run out of, like, let's say you have 20 houses, but you only have 10 meat, 10 veggies, 10 berries, and 10 bread. You technically have enough to feed everybody, but you will only feed 10 houses with that because of the way the game's set up. You always need to have the maximum amount that your stall requires to be able to feed everybody. And then every food group that you add on top of that will actually help raise the approval rating, and it will use less from the other groups of food because it pulls food from the other groups as well. So instead of eating 20 meat, they'll eat 10 meat, 10 veggies. Instead of eating, and if you have 4 food groups, it'll 5 from each, if that makes sense. So as you add more food types, you need less and less of each food type, but you still need enough to cover the market stall. So hopefully that makes sense. My market's not supplying fuel to one house, but it's supplying all the other houses. I don't know how to fix. Bam, you probably have a big town is my guess, or your stall is too far from whoever's bringing the wood, the firewood. So firewood, because firewood is used the most out of all of these, it uses double during the wintertime. It burns through the stock fastest, which means it's hard for the stall worker to go grab supply and bring it back and stay at 100% all the time. So what you need to do is either have more stall workers so that when somebody uses one, they can respond to it. Like, let's say if you burn through 5 firewood in 10 seconds, but you have 5 stalls with 5 workers, all 5 of them are going to grab wood and bring it back and be instantly stocked. If you have only 1 worker and you burn through 5 wood in a second, they're going to grab 1 wood, bring it back. Bring 1 wood, bring it back. Those other 3 are still going to be short. So you're still going to have a supply shortage because you don't have the wood in the stall quick enough. So having more stalls in that sense can actually help with that. It's the rate at which you resupply your stalls can cause a shortage. So that's what I was talking about before. You can have infinite amount of goods, but if you don't have the logistics to get those goods to your people quick enough, then you're going to have a supply shortage. It is amazing how well this is representative of real life. Like if you take, for example, when COVID happened, there was supply everywhere, but they couldn't get the supply to the stores, right? Because the logistics wasn't hooked up. Everything got stopped. So there was enough food and toilet paper and stuff there, but they didn't have the means of getting it to people because everything was shut down. So the supply existed, but the logistics couldn't keep up with it. The same thing happens in this game. It's pretty incredible, actually. The solution is to add another worker at the storehouse if they have access to the firewood. Correct. Yep. And then make sure you have access to another stall. Yep. So when you get big enough, when you have a big town, it's okay to build more stalls because you can handle the inefficiency. It's better to have your max supply limit in that case. So anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. We're not playing too much. Let's, what are we doing here? We have a little bit of stone. We can build a granary. Why don't we do that? Yeah, let's do that. And then I'll probably move some of these. This is going to be our store. Oh, I messed up, didn't I? I did. Yeah, I did mess up. I don't want the granary too close to this. We need to have room to build stuff. Ah, crap, and then these houses are going to get in the way. Yeah, I didn't plan this out very well because I was rushing to get everything down. It's okay. We'll deal with a little inefficiency. It's not a big deal. What I'm going to do actually then is cut this guy loose. Put him in the storehouse so he can clear it all out. Get everything out. Get everything out of the tannery as well. And then we're gonna move this building and destroy this building because we just don't need it. All right, so this one's done. We need to move it to where there's good wood supply. Let's put it over here. And then as soon as they get this pelt out or the hide, we're gonna... What are these guys doing? Oh, they're getting the stone. That makes sense. They want to get the stone before they take the hide. Alright, come on, dude. Get the hide. Actually, how many hides do we have? We have 16 hides. Let's actually make... Let's spam some hides so we can just convert them and we won't have to have a tannery for a while. Hey, Kieran. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Bam. That font is really hard to read, but hellos. Whatever your name is. Sorry, Mundus? I can't really read it. Trying to import animals. So do the sheep I import stay at the livestock post stable or go to my livestock fields on their own? You have to have a shepherd do it, but usually I've noticed sometimes they stay at the they'll stay at the pen of the livestock importer, and then once that Once you overfill from that, then they'll start moving to the other one. They usually go like this. They go to your livestock trading post first, then they'll go to the sheep farm, and then they'll go to the pasture. It doesn't really matter. They'll collect the they'll collect the wool wherever, so it doesn't really matter. It just doesn't look as clean. I know what you mean. It bugs me too, but it's just how it is. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to convert all the leather we can so we don't have to worry about having a tannery for a while. We're going to deconstruct it, and then I'm going to move these. I'm going to get this warehouse set up right here. We'll put a granary. We'll have a little bit of space for some industry right here. Yeah, we can't do anything. There's so many bandits on the map. Holy crap, but we can't do anything about it yet. Got attacked by 4 units of brigands, only 2 units. Oh yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Curious because I ordered an ox and it stayed at the post even though I had... Yeah, so even if they're at the post, they still get used. Like you'll see them, people will travel to the trading post to pull the ox out. Alright, we're pretty much done here. Alright, that's done. Let's pull everybody back here so they can get all the leather out, hopefully. Yep, they got all the leather out. Let's pull that guy out. And then we're gonna get rid of somebody so we can get the woodcutter up and running. Let's set a higher priority for the wood. And then we'll also put down a granary. We can do the granary whenever, though. Oh, shoot, we need this. We need this to go away. How can I delete a road? Mary Kay, so if you click on your roads button and you hold the Alt, here, I'm gonna make a road and delete it. So you don't want, let's say you don't want this road. If you go to your road selector, hold Alt and then left click, it'll give you the option to remove it. So again, any road, you can't do it to the roads that you didn't build. Oh, did I build that? Oh no, I did build that actually, sorry. Like the King's Road, I can't delete the King's Road. Maybe I can. Shoot, I don't want to mess it up. Maybe you can. Oh, that's the King's Road. So this is just a connector. Ah, interesting. So you can't touch the King's Road. I gotcha. Never mind. I'm usually attacked by around 50 outlaws at 3rd year. Any tips struggling to get military strong enough? Yeah, Ziga, what I would probably do, once you get, like, let's say if you're doing the default mode, you start with those 20 spears, right? Try and get a population where you can get at least 16 or so. If you can get 16 spearmen, you can handle it. So get your 16 spearmen, go out and take out whatever bandit camps that you have, and take the money into your personal treasury. If you put it in your personal treasury, and then let's say you take out 2 or 3 bandit camps, you'll have enough money to fill out 12 of your retinue. So then what you need to do is you need to very quickly get your manor house up and running. So you need to get a little bit of planks and a little bit of stone. It's really not that hard to do though. You should have no problem doing that. So you get your manor house up, use the money that you got from taking out the bandits to hire retinue, spend all the money you have on retinue. You should be able to get 10 to 12 retinue. Having that retinue is going to make a huge difference because those guys are really strong and they don't cost you anything. So other than the upfront cost. So can you have multiple saves? Yeah, Carbe, I had like 20 towns worth of saves, man. Before I updated and I lost all my saves, I had each of the achievement runs I did, I saved that, and then I had a bunch of test runs, I had some challenge runs, I had a ton of saves. So you can have a bunch. Anyone else having a crashing issue at load? Twizzled, I haven't had any issues with loading crash, but I do have crashes in this game. Not since I've tried. I've only got a couple hours on the full update one. On the content creator patch that they had for us, I crashed on that one, I don't know, 10 to 15 times. Out of, 130, 140 hours, something like that, so. Gustavo, what's up, man? Should I make storage buildings first? Yeah, so it depends. If you're on the hardest mode, no, skip it until you can get industry that provides food, clothing, and firewood, and a market stall. If you're doing on default setting, yes. The first thing you should do is get storehouse and granary, get all the stuff off the ground, and then go about your business doing your other stuff. There's an argument to be made for making a hitching post first. if you're feeling a little bit more advanced. The hitching post will help speed up your building, and you start with a little bit of cash. If you're doing the hard mode, you don't get any cash, so it doesn't do you any good, but yeah. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's what this stream's all about. I'm going to keep playing when there's no questions, but as soon as we get questions, I'll stop and help you guys out. Hey, Ivan. All right, so let's keep going. We need to get we need to get these out of the way because they're blocking the spot that I want to use for the granary. So what we're going to eventually do is move these market stalls right here so that they are directly across the street from both the storehouse and the granary that we're soon to be building. That way the distance is really short. We also need to get a saw pit. So we're going to need a saw pit so we can make planks. We're going to need that for a couple things. We need to do that to upgrade our storehouse, which is going to be full pretty soon. More importantly, we're going to need that to get a church. Now, the church is going to give us a huge boost to approval rating. Like right now, we're getting a -13. So once we get that up, it's going to help a lot. Hey, Alex Fit. Yeah, no problem, Gustavo. Yeah, I'm kind of glad. I was working really hard on a guide. I was going to try and get it out by today, but I'm really glad I didn't. I got about halfway through it, and then I just kind of gave up because I knew I wasn't going to get it in time. But there's some things that changed. Oh, see, look at how aggressive they are. We're not even a full year in, and they're already taking territory. I mean, it's good. It's going to be a tough challenge. I'm looking forward to it, but yeah. The review was helpful. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I don't do reviews very often, so I don't think my reviews are that good compared to some of the other channels that do that. You know, that's like all they do. But I just try and share my thoughts at least, rather than, you know, do like a legit point-by-point professional review. But I guess if you're similar to me, then maybe it'll be a bit more helpful, because it's kind of like I think about the challenges and the options that you can have rather than all the little stuff. I tend to forget about that. All right, so we really need to get these logs out of the way. Yeah, that's kind of annoying, actually, but it is what it is. Well, so the well we don't need until we upgrade. The well literally has no function other than just to allow your people to upgrade their buildings, so it doesn't really matter. Your content is better. I appreciate that, Steven. I noticed trying to import one of the more basic materials, the market crashed to 1 price per unit. Yeah, they really changed the trading post, so. The trading post should still work passively, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you could always tell if it's the King's Road, right? If you do the road and you try and delete it, it'll give you a warning saying it's not. Like this one is not the King's Road, even though it's the one that's done by the AI. Yeah, see, I guess it's a little fatter too, you can tell because of the thickness. So we could technically do trade over here since it's closer. Down here is kind of far, so we'll probably set up a trade port or a trade post over here. Water, yeah, water, they will get water passively, but it literally does nothing. It distracts them from their work, to be honest. So you probably want to put water wells around so that they have a shorter travel distance, but in general, it just doesn't do anything. Yeah, like if you don't provide water for your people, they don't die of thirst or anything. So granary's going down. Saw pit is up. Let's go ahead and let's take one person off of our logging camp and start working on our logs. We need to get 20, and then we can build the church. Oh, let's also take somebody off the woodcutter. I messed up on that. And we also need to keep an eye on our stalls, make sure. Yeah, we're getting short on that. Is this guy? Oh, we don't even have somebody in there. That's not good. There we go. That's fine. This guy will resupply. It's not a big deal. Yeah, we've got fuel for 4 months. We can put him back in the next three months or so, and we'll be fine. So hopefully these stall workers are going to restock. There we go. Yeah, we don't want to have shortages. We need a second food supply or food source. Otherwise, we're going to have shortages, so we need to worry about that too. This guy needs to go to the granary to move stuff, actually, because he's got way too many things. There we go. So we'll have a stall worker at the granary as well. Okay, how are we doing here? 5 planks, we need 15 more. Yeah, we need to get... Let's see, that's the problem. Once we get the church, then we'll be 100% fine. Yeah, firefighting, that's true as well. Export, when trying to export one of the basic materials. Yeah, so the more you trade of an item in a short period of time, the more likely it is to flood the market, and then they will stop buying it from you and the price will crash. And then same thing if you're trying to import too much of one item, the same thing will happen. The price will skyrocket, and then they'll eventually cut you off. Okay, we got most of the stuff out of there. We can put the worker back on the hunting camp. We got most of the stuff from there. We can put him back on the woodcutter's lodge. And then we can toggle this guy. Like, let's say if he's working the... What are you working anyways, actually? So he's working the clothing stall. We don't want him to work the clothing stall. We actually want him to work the woodcutter. The firewood one. So if I toggle him, does that change him over? Yeah, so it changed him over to the firewood stall. That's exactly what we wanted. So again, the clothing lasts for a full year. The wood lasts less than 1 month. So you want to make sure you have somebody in the firewood stall at all times. The clothing stall, you just update it once a year and it'll be fine. How much forester workers needed to regrow trees that are cut by loggers? Yeah, you could probably get away with 1 if you're only using a small area. So what I would recommend doing is, yeah, let's just pretend that this is the forester area. If you only have 1 wood building that's right here, just make the area big, because then what'll happen is they'll plant stuff outside of the range that you would normally get wood, and then maybe during the wintertime they cut through that. They'll still have things to cut down back here. Like if you're trying to min-max it and just make sure that they don't have to leave past this point, you're going to need 2 workers for sure, but it's not efficient. I would just do 1 worker. If you have 2 people, like let's say if you have a logging camp, what I usually do is I put a logging camp and I also put the woodcutter's lodge. I put them both next to each other, and then I have one forester lodge, and I have a really big area around them. And that's usually more than enough. So yeah, the bigger area you make, the better. I mean, yeah, they'll have to walk a little further, but then your forester camp will be a bit more efficient. And usually wood is not a bottleneck. You know, by the time you get past the early stages, you're going to have hundreds, if not thousands of firewood. That's not a problem. And then logs are rarely an issue in the late game or mid game. So yeah, we need to get a church, or we're not going to get any immigration. So that's, what do we have here? We have food. Yep, everything's maxed out there. $20 planks. Okay, perfect. Actually, let's pull him. We don't need to get more planks than we need. Let's go ahead and build ourselves a church. Now, the church can be put anywhere. I'm going to put it kind of close because I think I have the stone here. Yeah, the stone's here. The planks are here. I don't want to put it here. I'm going to have some industry here. So if we zoom out, well, people will visit the church too, though. We'll probably build back here. It's fine. We'll make it a little inefficient. It's not a big deal for the trip. Yeah, I'm going to put it out of the way. You just need to make sure people have access to it. They don't need to be, it doesn't need to be on a road. You don't need to put your church on a road. Wait, this one was clay. Yep. Oh man, having 1 ox is pretty painful. Fine. Once they're done with that, let's actually make this the priority, and we'll start working on expanding the housing. So I'm not going to build housing on this side. This side's all going to be reserved for storage and industry. So we'll just continue making our houses somewhere else. Probably have it right here. This road seems fine. Yeah, this one is funky.
Come on, come along. Just give me a hammer and something needs to not move. I'll put it in place.
That's fine. We don't need to mess with it too much. And then we'll have space right here for something small, like maybe a hitching post. How can you get a second ox? So Ivan, what you can do is, if you go down here to the logistics tab, there's a building called the hitching post. It only costs 1 log. Just put it... Generally, you want to put your hitching post near something that's going to use it, like the logging camp uses it. If you have a lot of housing or buildings going up in an area, you can put it around there. And then there's a button right here on the actual hitching post. Order another ox. It costs 20 gold, and then you can do it. I can't do it right now because we don't have any regional wealth, but we'll get that soon. Yeah, eggs are still fine, Kieran, but you would probably do it later in the campaign. Normally, you do it right off the bat because they produce so much food, you only need a couple of them. Now you need twice as many, and they cost 25 gold each. So and I haven't done it enough to say for sure, but my gut says that you're probably going to do vegetable gardens first because they only cost 15, and they make a lot of food, right? You're not going to get just one a month. You're going to you can make it big enough so that it supplies, 30 a year instead of 12 a year. So that's going to probably be your best first source of meat or berries food. I don't usually like to do farming that early because it's a lot of buildings and a lot of work you have to do. So yeah, I would probably go veggies first, then I would go eggs, and then I would go apples last, just because how expensive they are. And you have to invest a perk point. But it's 3 food sources that you can get without having to, regardless of what part of the map you're on. You can do it anywhere. So I would say veggies, eggs, then apples. You can also upgrade the hitching post. Yes, correct. So once you start getting planks and stuff, you can upgrade this to a small stable, and it'll have space for 2, and then you can put 1 in. These are cheap enough to where in the early game, just throw a hitching post down. You're not limited in space, and one timber is not going to cost you anything. You can have almost an infinite supply. But yeah, in the late game, it's better to do that. It's not on console yet. Kieran, not yet. Kieran and Kieran. Almost the same name. Yeah, it's not on the consoles yet. So now that our church is up, we're gonna lose that church low level next month. And then more importantly, we're gonna get a plus for our church level, which means our approval rating will go above 50%. And as soon as our approval rating goes above 50, then we can start getting positive immigration. Probably could have gotten it sooner if I pushed the wooden church faster, but I just didn't. Get open my door 1 second. Man, this game spits out a lot of heat, that's for sure. Spells his name correctly. Alright, we have a dumpy little town, which means we need a dumpy little church bell to reflect that. So how are we doing on clothing? Clothing's still capped. Yeah, see, as soon as we build more burgage plots, our supply limit goes up. Like you can see right here, we have 7 firewood. Once we build this, we'll have 8. Even though we only have 5 people here, 5 families, it doesn't matter because the supply limit is based on the burgage plots, not the families. And then the supply needed is based on the families, not the burgage plots. So they're asking for clothes already because it's the clothing stall. So Josh, that's a good point. When you have the settings turned up all the way, or the difficulty all the way maxed, they get pissed off if they don't have the first level of clothing, the second level of food, and the first level of fuel. The second level of food is not required, but it's nice if you have it. But the first level for sure of these, they get pissed. And when you play it on the default settings, you could ignore both of these. You could ignore these two, and you can ignore the first food, but the second food, if you don't have it, they'll get pissed. So it makes it quite a bit harder. How can we grow the population? Only reproducing or accepting more villagers. So there's no reproducing in the game. It's just as long as you have empty houses that you built, like this one has nobody in it, and then your approval rating is above 50%. So right now you can see no population growth because our approval is too low. We have empty houses, and once we get our approval up to 50%, then people will start moving in. But yeah, no population growth through births or anything. Sorry, I missed your question, Stubenek. How do you get recruits for the militia? So you need to get supplies to arm them, and then once you do, you go to your army tab, you press the plus button. Whatever supplies you have, you click on their picture. So like, let's say if we had war bows, if I had 10 war bows, it would create 10 people here, and then you would just rally them by clicking on them and click the rally button. If you don't have the equipment, then you can't. You can't do it. You have to wait till you get the equipment. So like right now, we can't do anything about it. And I'm not going to upgrade any burgage plots to be able to make bows just yet. We will soon, but not yet. All right, we got open housing. We've got a church. We've got room for everything to go. We just need to get our approval up. Let's see, cloth. Can't do much about that. Food variety, we can do something about, I think. Hey, Lively Artichoke, I appreciate that. Even if you have no interest in them. Yeah, it's funny because it's interesting to learn about complex systems, right? Even like, for example, I watch videos about stuff that I have no interest in doing. Like I've been binge watching a lot of diving, like cave diving videos. I have zero interest in cave diving, but I find the topic fascinating, like learning about nitrogen narcosis, and you have to have different air mixture based on the depth, because depending on the pressure that you're at, the mixture is different, and then when you come up, you're going to get decompression sickness because the bubbles react differently based on the pressure, and it's a lot of interesting things that are complex, but I have zero interest in doing any of that, and it's not going to have any usefulness in my life at all. But so I guess it's probably similar. Ask as many questions as you need. How do I increase my approval? It keeps going down. Yes, good question. Due to homelessness. If you have lots of homes. So if you have an empty home and you still have homelessness problems, the only thing I can think of is you still have your starter camp. You still have maybe this thing. Did you by chance upgrade your settlers camp to a workers camp? Because if you did that, they will still consider themselves homeless, and they will not move into the homes that you built. So if you did that, I'm just going to assume that you did, because I can't think of another reason why they wouldn't move in. If you did that, just click on the building. Let's say this was the workers camp, and just deconstruct it. Get rid of it. So if you get rid of it, they will automatically move to the houses that you built for them. And they still have homelessness issues if you have settlers camp that's upgraded. So oh, you lost all the raiders? That's tough. How do you go about getting your military strength up quickly? Yeah, that's the thing. We're gonna have to deal with it soon, because I have this, like I said, this is settings maxed. We had no starting resources. Settlers are really picky, and we're gonna get raided in the first year. So my goal in this one is probably to rush. It's probably going to be to rush bows, and then just get enough to see if I can pick off a bandit camp or two, and then use that money to hire mercenaries, and that'll buy me a little more time to get a proper militia set up. The other option is to get those bandit camps and then get a manor house set up and then upgrade retinue. So that could be more of a permanent solution. That would be better for the long term. I don't know. It depends on how it's going. But yeah, sometimes you can't get it up. I was going to say you can't get it up in time. That sounds like a male problem, but Yeah, it can be challenging for sure. What needs to be done to give me Manor Lords for free? Oh boy, I can't help you there. I have no idea. You have the flooded market effects? Yeah. Basically, I busted my pre-release save game. Yeah, all of my saves are pretty much done. Like the game would just hang. It wouldn't do anything. Can you set a limit so woodcutters stop collecting logs after a set amount? No, these guys will just keep going forever. Yeah, there's no way to limit that. Well, okay, I take that back. You can sort of do it. So if you go to either your logging camp or your woodcutter's lodge, there is a button on the advanced tab. If you go to the advanced tab, it says unlimited work area. Like, let's say I only wanted them to pull stuff from a certain small area. You can set their work limit. Let's say you just set it right here. They'll pull all these trees and then they'll stop working. So you can sort of do it artificially, but no, you can't set like a number limit, but you can kind of, there's a workaround for that. And then also, just so you know, when you do this, if you hold control and mouse wheel, you can increase or decrease the size of the work area. I didn't know that until I was like 60 hours in. Like I was such an idiot. If you look at my Let's Plays, instead of increasing the work area, I just built 3 things to cover the area I wanted to because I didn't know. So yeah, that's a pretty big whoops. So that would probably be a decent workaround for you. When will there be an update for the AI? I have no clue. Yeah, I don't know anything about the development cycle. It's just whenever he gets it done, I guess. Alright, we don't have anything being built right now. What we should probably do is work on getting some things built. I want to get enough saw pit. Wait, do we have... Yeah, it's the pantry, so we need to get this guy. We need our granary to go clear it out again. We definitely don't need 2 people in there. Yeah, this guy's working. Okay, let's pull one off and put him on the saw pit. We need to get enough lumber to upgrade the storehouse, and then after that we need enough to have our manor house ready to go. I don't want to have to be futzing with all the resources when the time comes. So we'll just preload it, and then we're just going to push really hard to get warbows and increase our population size so we can field a decent size of archers. A decent set of archers. What we're waiting for is this pantry to get cleared out. And then we'll pull this guy off because he doesn't need to be there. Yeah, pull him off. We are going to need somebody on the logging camp because we're using up all of our wood for the saw pit. Man, all these bandit camps, I'm getting jealous. I'm getting real jealous. Look, he already took 2 pieces of land. Holy crap. Yeah, the AI is super aggressive now in the full release, or the early access patch that they did. Yeah, it's probably going to take him a while, Alex, I would imagine. I don't know if this is going to go the way of the Manor Lord, you know, where they, you know, 2-3 years down the line, they finally have a semi-completed game. I hope that's not the case, but, you know, what he has here right now is pretty good, so even if that ends up being the case, I guess it's not the end of the world. Alright, 25, we need 10, so we need 30 total. There we go. Let's shut this guy off. Let's get another one on the timber camp. We need to get a little more so we can upgrade this. See, this storehouse is almost full already, and we're still in the early game. One more. Come on, Ox, go do your job. Only a month sub, then you can buy the game later if you like it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I could see, in its current state, I could see you getting tired of this after maybe a month or 2. I could see that. Because there's a decent amount for you to do, but if you're not into, like, hardcore challenges, then probably not as much. Oh, shoot, what was I doing? Yeah, planks, we're good there. We need to have timber, so we have timber. Let's upgrade that. We'll pull one off of them so he can actually go construct.
Never. Perhaps he simply does not know how to cook properly.
Yeah, the hitching post is definitely a bottleneck, but there's not much we can do about it. We could do some trading right now, I guess. We could sell blanks. That would be the only reasonable thing, because we can't buy... We can't even... But you know, actually, hides are a decent price, too. And then I would like to get... I'd like to get the trade route unlocked. I'm not going to do these perks. I don't think we're going to do too heavy on the trading. We'll probably do a little bit. Actually, you know what? Shoot. I was planning on doing no trade. This is going to be a no trade run. That's what my initial plan was. Because the hard settings are pretty hard, but if you do no trade, only importing allowed of animals, because you can't get those any other way, but settings maxed and then no trade allowed, that would be a pretty good, pretty healthy challenge. So that means we'd have to pay for our trade deals. They're kind of expensive. Actually, this one has, like, yeah, we're not going to be doing armory. So if we do that, then we'll probably end up doing charcoal and deep mining. That'll be a for sure. These are trash. These are good, but we'll probably ignore it because it's not part of the challenge. And then we'll probably go heavy plow, orchard. It's only 4. I guess we could technically do these. At least armor making and advanced armor making. I don't know, we'll see. Should probably do one right now, but that's okay. The 25 max trade route is so good. Well, think of it this way though. If I have pretty much infinite money because I can make all my supplies infinitely without running out. Like the clay deposit, once I get the deep mine, I can, and let's say I want to open up 1,000 gold worth of trade routes. And if I take the perk, it'll save me 800 gold instead. Well, how long would it take me to make 800 gold if I didn't take the perk, you know? And then after that, then you got to ask yourself, what are you not getting because you have to take the perk, right? That means you're not getting one of these other ones. And especially in this one, since we're not going to be using trade. So. But yeah, if you're doing a trade game, yeah, it's really good to have both of those trade perks. But you can get around it. It's not the end of the world if you don't take it.
Feast your eyes on our fine selection.
Oh, sorry. Does flour go to granary or storehouse? Flour should go to... Yeah, it goes to the granary. If you're ever not sure, just go to the advanced tab and it'll show you all the goods that they can accept. So they take the grain and the flour and the wheat and rye. I believe the malt goes to the storehouse though. Even though ale ends up here, barley and malt go to the storehouse, but then the ale goes to the granary for whatever reason. What's your final opinion on the game? Would you recommend the purchase? If you like city building, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. If you don't like city building and you only look at and you think the combat looks interesting, I would probably wait. The combat's fun, but it's very infrequent and on a much smaller scale than a lot of the other games. Are there traits in the game? I mean, there's perks that you can pick right here for each town that you have. You can choose different perks for each town. There will be policies you can enact. Most of these don't really work. And then I don't know what this production tab is. And then when you get your retinue, you can upgrade your retinue at some point. And not yet, but yeah. Here we go. So storehouse, this one takes the barley and the malt. Yeah, there's the malt. Any day now, approval. Any day now. Not enough cloth variety on the market. They want more types of cloth. Well, we are... Oh, I know why. Yep. We need to get another worker there to run the stall. He doesn't want to run the stall. Okay, so we're gonna have to build... We're gonna have to build our tannery then. So the way this is gonna look is something like this. It's going to be like a square with a warehouse and a granary, warehouse, and then the The marketplaces are going to go on the ends, and then industry are going to go on the sides, all throughout the area. So yeah, there's a development tree in each region, correct? So you can make, like, let's say I want this one to be the trade heavy one. You can make this one the industry heavy. You can make this one the farm heavy. Yeah, you can customize each one. Hey, Ivanja, I haven't got the trade building set up yet, but basically, when you open your trade post, you go to, there's a tab called the trade tab, and then find the item that you want to trade, and on the left there'll be a little drop down button. You click on that, and then you want to trade. If you want to import it, then you click import. If you want to export, you turn it to export, and then you need to set the limit that you want to trade it at. So if you're importing, you want to set the number on the, there'll be two numbers, a number on the left and a number on the right. This would be so much easier if I actually had the trade building. I don't even have any saves because I had to delete them all. Yeah, the number on the left is the number that you have currently, and the number on the right is the number you want to have after you're done trading. So like, let's say if you have 0 but you want to have 10, so then you need to set the number on the right to 10. If you want to sell stuff, then you set it to export, and then the let's say the number on the left is 20. You need to make sure the number on the right is lower. Let's say you don't want to sell all of them, but you want to sell some. So if you have 20, you can maybe set yours to 10, and it'll sell 10, and make sure that they don't sell those other 10, so you can keep them in reserve. What are horses supposed to do once they're fully optional? So, hey DJ, so once you get a trade post, of the family, there's three people in the family. One of the family members will grab one of the export goods and go to the edge of the map to sell it, and they'll just do it by foot. When you assign a horse to that trade post, they will actually ride a horse to do it and then travel back. So it increases the speed at which they go to the edge of the map to sell that item. So it speeds up a very small trickle of trade. Usually you're going to get most of your trade from the passively, either on the being on the King's Road, or by setting up trade routes and having them come by. So that's what those are for. When I tested it last, it was bugged. They would go to the edge of the map, and as soon as you put the horse on them, they would just not sell anything and just go back and forth doing nothing, unfortunately. So I don't know if they fixed it or not in the full release. Yeah, see, we're still... Oh, wait, who's... Yeah, see, so here's one of the problems that you can run into. You see how I have 9 houses, right? Yeah, 9 houses, but only 5 people living here. These ones are all empty, but it doesn't matter. So the supply goes to the house that's closest. It doesn't matter if it's occupied or not. So because these are closer, these are getting supply. Even though this one's occupied, they're not getting supply unless we increase the amount of leather that gets in here. So that's why we're gonna focus on getting a tannery up. So if we get a tannery, we could probably fit it. That's gonna be tough. It's gonna be in the way. Yeah, let me just, I'm just gonna set this up. It's fine. So the granary, this granary needs to go here. This storehouse needs to go here. I like to enclose my warehouse areas all the way around because you can get traffic jams pretty easily. I'm going to delete these. We don't want to build them right now. I just wanted to make sure we have space for them later. And then what we can do is we could technically put some industry right here. Like we could put the... Oh, we can't. Actually, it doesn't fit. We could put it on this side. And it would probably make more sense on this side anyways, because the hunting camp's right here. Oh, what a tight fit. Okay, well, whatever. I'm gonna just put it directly across us from the hunting camp. That'll be fine. Is it worth it? I think so, yeah. The demand for certain requirements should stack and increase as the game unfolds. Yeah, it's a tough one. How can I increase my number of retinue? So Judge Dredd, once you build your manor house, there's an add-on that you can do that doubles them out, so it goes from 12 to 24. It'll tell you, if you look at the description, I'll build one soon and you'll see it, but once you do it, there's a little button when you click on the manor house that says open the castle builder or something like that. one of the buildings says increase the retinue supply. It's like it's one of the towers in the middle. Once you build that and it's done being built, it'll increase your retinue limit to 24. And then if you want to have more than just one set of retinue, you have to build towns and build manor houses in each town. So you need to expand your territory, build another manor house there, expand the manor house by building that tower, and then hire all 24 retinue. How much field can one farmer with plow tech support? That's a tough one. I didn't really test that far, but I tested I mostly was going for yields rather than how many to work the field. Yeah, it's on my list to test though. I just didn't have time to get it all. It's a good question though. The balance is shot. Yeah, that's why, especially on the hard mode, you got to really rush it. Otherwise, people are going to leave your town because they get pissed off. So.
There we go.
And one thing, actually, I didn't mention this before. One thing you have to keep in mind, if you have low approval, that low approval goes down into the previous category and it decays slowly. So even though we have a church and we've had a church for several months, we're still getting a minus 14 from it. It lingers. So do your best not to get any of these minus approval things because they will stick around for a very long time. And this is what's keeping us from growing and becoming a bigger town. Hopefully we're almost there. 48, we're almost there. And this freaking cloth, man. Yeah, we need to build this thing so we can get our cloth going and then get somebody. We have a stall. I don't know why this guy's not working it. Actually, what if I take him away and put him back in? Will he go to the cloth one? Nice. Okay, sweet. So he did the cloth one. That's fine. All right, so we should not have that approval loss anymore. Yeah, we're getting supply of cloth everywhere, so we're good there. It'll still hit us a little bit because it's going to carry over for a month or so. Oh, no, no, no. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck, Ox. He was running into the lady. Sorry if you already answered this, but in terms of farms, what approach you recommend? My land is mostly green for everything. I'm following your beginner guide. So yeah, that's a good point. I'll do it right now. I'll show you what I would do. Before you build too much, I kind of did it. I kind of got away with it on this one. I built too much stuff, but I got kind of lucky because the stuff that we want to take is mostly in the green. I'm actually not going to build barley. I'm going to keep this town strictly to just wheat yeah, wheat to turn into bread. So what I would do is I would start right from the very beginning, just section stuff off. It doesn't cost you any resources to put down a field, so just do it right away. What I would probably do, like in this instance, I would start sectioning these off. You can get a little bit of yellow in there. It's not the end of the world. You probably don't want to go too big. Like maybe 2 Morgan large is a pretty good size. If you go any larger than that, then it might be kind of a hassle for people to work. I think I can pull that in a little bit more. We just don't want to give up too much of the green. Yeah, so like 2 Morgan, that's a good size. So I'm going to set that up. Let's go for the next one as well. And again, it's not possible to get a perfect shape unless you make a bunch of tiny squares. Like I could do, like, if you're familiar with calculus, you could just pretend like you're integrating and then you just follow the curve. You know, every time you go down a notch, you can make it more and more close to the... Your approximation is closer and closer to the exact. You can do that, but then the problem is when you start managing your farms and say you want to have this one farmed and this one, it's a lot of micromanagement. So I like to have a couple big farms. If you're going to do it in the beginning, you want to do it manually, then you have big farms. When you start doing it with the crop rotation, then you can start doing it, the small ones that are broken down, and the AI will do it for you. But if you're the one that has to do it manually, yeah, I would not make them too small. What is that, 1.8? Yeah, it's still... That looks good. So I probably want to get like 3 or 4 of these things. So just get a couple two Morgan large plots. Done. So that kind of follows the outline of the area that I want to do. So like, let's say if this was barley, you would want to follow this with barley, and then again with flax and whatnot. So rye is basically a better form of wheat. So if you look up here, you have to unlock it by spending 2 perk points. But if you do get it, look at the fertility for emmer, right? You have only two plus signs here. There's a little bit of 2 plus sign there, but there's no +3 signs. If you go down to rye, almost the whole area is +3. You can get significantly better yields and more of it from here, but you have to spend points. So, but rye and wheat are interchangeable once you're. If you exclude the fertility requirements, rye and emmer are functionally identical. They do the exact same thing. So, should I put people in a church or no? No, don't ever put people in a church unless there's dead bodies you need to clear. The only function of the church is to bury people. So if you have a battle on your lands and people die, whether it's your people or the enemies, you always have to have somebody to bury them. So try and get somebody to do that pretty quickly. So you put somebody in a church, or you can put a burial mound or the corpse pit, whatever. You just build one of these and then have somebody do that. They'll pick up the dead bodies and throw them away. Can't believe people are clicking the devs messaging at the start of a game, then submit it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, everyone has 2 resources, and one of them. If you only see 2, it means the other one's rich soil. So like this one for sure, this one has only 1 rich deposit that you can see. The other one's going to be the soil. And that looks like it might be the only one. No, this one's rich soil as well. So there's 2 rich soils in this one. Unburied corpses decay, and no, they do not improve land fertility. But they do piss off your people. Yeah, they'll get up and leave if you have bodies in there for too long. What's the best way to get food? Is it just farm? No, I don't like farming actually. Stop motion. I generally don't farm until I don't farm until the end or towards the mid game. I feel like it's a lot of work for a pretty small game. I generally like to do a little bit of hunting in the beginning, especially if you have a rich deposit of animals, because the hunting will give you both meat and hides, which you can use for clothing. So you basically get 2 needs satisfied with 1 camp. And then I'll usually do berries, because berries are pretty expensive. So if you want to sell them, they're worth a lot. Actually, that's what I should have done. Shoot, I should have been collecting berries. Oh well. Just trying to think if I want to set up a road to go back there or not. Well, actually, I probably need to map out the rest of this. So I'll put a break right here for the road. Yeah, let's finish outlining this. Yeah, it's not going to be possible to get the full one on this one. That's not that big of a deal. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the road cut across. And then we can continue. Yeah, that's fine. You're going to lose little triangles here and there, but it's not worth the efficiency. The headache trying to get the perfect efficiency on that. Also, I don't like the way this looks. Yeah, that's a little better connection. Yeah, Shimgus, it does have a big learning curve. How do animal respawns work? Because I only have 4 animals left alive and they don't seem to come back. You talking about this one? Yeah, if you kill all your animals, they're gone forever. You can't get them back. So just leave them alone and they'll respawn on their own. They go. I have it in my notes somewhere. I don't remember the exact one, but make the field. What building follows next? Yeah, so you make the field and then you have to do. a farmhouse, and that's where people will actually go out and till the soil and do all that stuff. We don't have enough people to work the fields. Like, you need a lot of people to work fields, so we can't do that. But yeah, you would do farmhouse, then you would need a windmill to grind the grain into flour, and then a communal oven to turn it into bread. I wouldn't say I'm a min-maxer, but I lean more towards the min-max side of things. Yeah. Someone said your name correctly? Yeah, they probably say Shigmas, because that's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw it, but then I slowed down and realized that the M and the G are the other way around. Alright, we could... Oh, no, we can't, actually. You can set the limit. It defaults at 10. If you have the rich resources, I usually set it a little higher just because there's some more wiggle room. Do you ever use sheep in a fallow to improve fertility? Yeah, it's a perk. I don't, because it's free, right? Pastures don't cost you anything. Like, I could build one right here for free. So having your farmlands have it doesn't really give me any benefit. And here's the thing, even if it increases the fertility faster, like, you're never going to use it. I can never till all of my fields in 1 year. I can never work all my fields in 1 year. There's just too much. So it doesn't really make sense unless you're, if you have like 1,000 population and 800 of your people are only doing farming work, then maybe you can sort of get there, but that's a stretch. I just can't ever imagine a scenario where fertilization is a good perk to have. I just can't think of one. Case for barley, just the... Yeah, exactly. Just the malt house, but then to be able to turn it into beer, you need a level 2 burgage plot, and then you need to add the brewery to turn the malt into beer. There's no building besides this that'll turn beer, the malt into beer. Oh, sorry, Fun. I missed your question. Yeah, I did skip it. Let me scroll up and see if I can find it. Fun, where are you? Or if you want to retype it, I'm scrolling up, see if I could see it. I don't see you anywhere. Jeez, was it further back? Retype it if you can, and I'll get to it. Yeah, I'm paying attention now. Is there free construction mode? No, there's no free construction mode, Paper. Not that I've seen. How does storage work exactly? I have multiple storage sheds, but my logging camps are full. Oh, yeah. And then so logging camps are the only thing that don't use storage. So if you look at these, these timber are too big to fit anywhere. They only go in the logging camp. They cannot go anywhere else. So what I recommend doing to increase your logging camp storage is just build a bunch of them. Don't ever deconstruct these things. You can move them around if you want, but build multiples. So I usually like to build 3 to 4 and put them all over your area, because what'll happen is, let's say if I have only one logging camp right here, worker, and the other ones are empty. When this one fills up, they will actually go to the other logging camps to fill them up and then come back here, go there to fill it up, or you can just move the worker around. But yeah, if you have multiple logging camps, that will increase this total storage capacity for timber. So build more, and they only cost 2 timber, so it's cheap. There you go, Fun. I did see your question now. How do you feel compared to good older Total War games like Shogun 2, strategy and positioning? I would say it's it's similar, but on a much smaller scale, because you do need to pay attention to, like, your morale is extremely important, and it actually attacking from the flanks, attacking while you're tired, surrounding enemies on all sides, charge damage, those all make a huge difference to morale. So it's actually very similar in that sense, but the game plays I want to say it probably plays a little faster than Total War, and on a much smaller scale, I would say. But yeah, it's similar in that they kind of do similar things, but yeah, it's definitely not the same. Restoring the peace on challenging is the hardest. I actually struggled more with the mercenary one because I didn't quite understand how the mercenaries worked. I didn't realize that the AI was taking them out of the recruiting pool. Once I figured that out, then I realized I could just rush money and reserve them all from the start. And then my only job that game was just to make as much money as I could. to be able to afford the mercenaries, and that I didn't have to worry about anything else. So yeah, I think the sorry, I got something in my throat. I would say the mercenary achievement's probably the harder one, in my opinion. Also, getting 100% on hard mode with a large town was really hard. I don't know if you need to do it on the challenging mode, but I think I did mine on challenging, and it was really hard to get 100% with a large town, the biggest town possible. That was pretty hard. There's no wounded in battle, not that I'm aware of. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, see, it wants us to build a farmhouse, but we're probably not going to do that. I guess we could get some flax going if we really wanted to. We can do a little bit of that. I don't know that it's really worth it, though. And then the barley. Barley is going to be the biggest bottleneck, and there's just not a lot of it around. Like, there's some right here, but that wouldn't be enough. That'd be enough for, like, 20 people, 10 people, 20 people, if that. It's pretty bad. So we'll probably have to import. We'll have to start another town somewhere where we can actually focus on barley. Yeah, we need to fight. Exactly, Jan. We got to start getting... That's what I'm trying to rush, but it's hard because we don't have any positive immigration. We should. I'm not quite sure why we're not. Our cloth is maxed. These are all maxed. We have a church. You know what we could do, actually? And I don't know, I'm kind of dumb for not doing this sooner. We could upgrade our church past what we need, and it'll increase the bonus that we get. That could be the next thing. So let's do that. Let's work on getting a clay mine set up. And then we need a clay furnace to turn the tiles, to convert the tiles. Just build it right here. Oh, we do actually have somebody that moved in. Wait, I'm really confused. What happened here? Yeah, it said that these people were not happy, but there's nobody there, so I don't know. That must be a bug or something. Crossbows, early firearms. Yeah, I think so. Did the developer specifically say they didn't aim to really compare? Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's more of a city builder, and they added combat as like one aspect of the game, but not like the core focus. Like if you look at Total War, combat's the focus, and they have a little bit of exploration and, you know, the 4X type of stuff. But really the focus is the combat. Whereas this one, it's kind of the opposite. Man, we have a lot of hides. I want to sell, but yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to my guns here and not allow trading. I really do want to do that challenge. So we got the clay furnace up. It doesn't help us if we don't have clay. We need that. Once we get the clay furnace up and a couple tiles, we can upgrade the church. But that means we are going to need to get more stone and planks because we're going to use those. Shoot, it's fine. We can get it. Was the bug fixed where the warehouse worker would pull beer out of the tavern? I haven't been able to test it because my saves got deleted and I haven't gotten there yet. Is there good enough replayability here? So Prodigal, it depends on how you like to play the games. Like if you're only interested in playing the stuff that the developer set out, like for example, the 3 scenarios, one is, you know, just reach a big town with no combat. The middle one is clear the map, get rid of the enemy baron, and then the last one is surviving being attacked. If you only want to do the ones that the developer set in the game, I would probably wait, because if you were only doing that, it'd be kind of boring. But if you're the type that you like to set your own challenges and find your own ways to do it, there's a lot here to do. Like right now we're doing the hardest game mode. We did a winter start with no resources, no money, no income, or no shipment of weapons. So it's a pretty rough start. Speaking of which, we need to get another food type. Crap. But yeah, if you could set your own victory conditions, I think there's enough here to enjoy. But if you're looking specifically for the stuff that the developer has in the game, then probably not, because there's only 3 scenarios, and they're, once you do it a couple times, they're not that interesting to replay. But like I said, there's a lot of other things you can do Here we go. We got positive immigration finally. We need it too. We only have 90 days, and then we're going to get raided. Is it up on Steam yet? Yeah, it's on Steam. How do you get region wealth without trading? So yeah, that's a good question. The only way, well, there's two ways. You can take out bandit camps and send the money back here, or you upgrade your burgage plots, and then these provide passive income. It's literally the only way. Well, we need money, but that's part of the challenge, right? I have some ideas, and that I want to see if it'll work or not. I actually think I can make, especially now that they nerfed trading, if I can pull off what I have in my head, then I think it might even be better than if you can just trade. There we go. So we got our mining pit up. We need a second food source though. That's pretty important. Let's do that. I don't know why I keep putting that off. It's such an easy fix. All we got to do is we'll put like a berry farm right here, or a forager hut. It only costs one, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, that's fine. And he's going to take a really long trip. Yeah, moving the market. I'm going to do that soon. I don't want to do it yet because I don't want to screw up what we have. I don't have enough people to cover the stalls yet. Once we get more people, then I'll feel more comfortable, but we'd have to have 3 workers taken off of their duty and then redo it right here. So we'll do that soon. It's definitely on the list. The good thing is we have a lot more living space than we have actual families, so we have a buffer of 4 before anybody gets to the point where they don't have supplies. So we're actually in a really good spot. Yeah, we just need to get. Yeah, we really need that other food source. I don't know what I was thinking here with the clay furnace. We don't even have people to do it yet. Even the 3 scenarios, at least 100 hours. Yeah, well, 100 hours. I don't know about 100 hours. I think I started to get bored with those around 50 to 60. But you know, again, I was playing it 24/7. If you're playing it, 2 hours a day or whatever, a couple times a week, then yeah, it's going to be a different experience. You could probably stretch that out for at least 100 hours. But even past that, like I said, there's a lot of stuff you can do that's really fun. The mercenary only challenge was pretty fun. Doing no trade challenge is fun. Trying to reach 1,000 population is quite challenging and fun. There's a lot of stuff. Are some saves broken on Microsoft Game Pass? Kasra, I'm not sure. I'm only on Steam, so I can't speak to that. But I know for sure, even if your saves aren't broken. Actually, no, I don't know. If you weren't on early access. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, actually. Food does not go in the storehouse. Food goes in the granary. And then all the non-food stuff goes into the storehouse. So if you're ever not sure, you can click on Granary and go to Advanced, and there will be a list of everything that it accepts. So like actual food or components to food, it'll take, and then it also has herbs for medicine. Yeah, early access 50 hours is good. That's true. I looked at my Banished game. I think I only played it for like 35 hours, and I got kind of bored with it. That was, way back when that game came out, but still a fun game. All right, we need to get somebody picking berries. We need to have somebody on the granary so we can actually pull the food back too, though. That's going to be... It's going to be a challenge. We don't need 20 logs. I was going to upgrade this. You know what? I'm going to hold off on upgrading the church, actually. We need to save. We really need to get that other food source. So let's put a second person on berries. And see if we can drain this whole 64. That'll be a lot of food for us, actually. And that'll be a second food source. So... the blue-green, it means that we don't have a farmhouse. It means we have no way of working the farms, which I don't care. I didn't set it. I set it up because somebody asked about an example. And I'm going to do it eventually anyways, so might as well. Herb garden worth it? Probably not. No, I would just import them. because you use very few of them. Yeah, people don't get sick that often. I mean, you can. It's whatever. It's fine either way, I would say. Yeah, we need to get our food situation fixed, but we should be in much better shape here now that we're getting berries. Yeah, what I'm going to do is actually pull this guy off and put him on the granary. We probably need to clear this anyways. Yeah, 17 food there. And then he can go make a trip over here. They should have dropped some food off. Yeah, there we go. So we got some berries. We even got a timber if we have like a beaver or something that is taking up residence. I don't know why this happens, but we do end up sometimes getting a timber lodged in our food stall. I heard they get sick if you don't have food variety. That, I don't know. I haven't tested it. I'm not sure. What's your favorite start rich with high cost? Oh, wait, I missed it. Starting rich deposits. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on what you're going for. I like to have either rich soil, rich clay deposit, or the iron deposit. If you're doing the really hard start, having a wild animal rich deposit is actually pretty nice. It makes a big difference. But the problem is in the late game, this does nothing. A rich deposit of stone is completely useless. Berries is okay, but it's not as good as these others because, again, you can use these into the late game. So I prefer the clay, iron, and soil if I had my choice. Can I explain why there's almost always a low storage notification? Yeah, so that's probably because of this. So if you look at the log storage, this one by default will always be low because it only has room for one. So if you put one log in there, that means it can't accept another one. It should not. They should disable it for this building, but they didn't for whatever reason. Really, it's a problem when you have it for buildings like this. Let's say if you have low storage on one of your hunting camps, that means that person is going to have to stop hunting and they will take goods one by one to the granary, which is a problem because that means they're not collecting resources. So if you see it, most of the time you ignore it because it's your saw pit, or it could be something else like a logging camp. But if it's for one of the other ones like a woodcutter's lodge, or like your hunting camp, that's a problem. You definitely need to clear that up. All right, how are we doing here? We got 18. We got more food coming back. Yeah, we got a decent amount of berries. So we should be good then. We should have 2 food types. All right, sweet. We can upgrade these guys. I think I'm going to... crap, we really need it though. 40. We have like almost no time. I'm hesitant to upgrade because the problem is these guys are... It takes them out of the workforce pool. Yeah, it takes them out of the workforce pool, and then also their needs are higher, so that our approval is going to get hit. So, yeah, the nice church, I was planning on doing that, but we're running out of time. We have only 36 days. We may not even have time to get anything. The other thing, we might get lucky, and the AI might send mercenaries to cut off the bandits. So if that happens, we'll be in a little better shape. The AI is taking over the whole map, so we're not going to have bandits to farm. We're going to have to do this pretty much on our own. So... Oh, nice. We got a family moving in. Perfect. That was good timing. Oh, also, this is never explained. If you hold tab, it gives you a ton of information. This is actually really useful. So I wasn't sure which building they moved into. If you hold tab, otherwise you'd have to go one by one. If you hold tab, you can see it right away. So these guys are missing these resources. This one has somebody that moved in and they're missing food and wood. Which we should have enough. I don't know why it's not propagating. Yeah, they should get it. Maybe they just... Yeah, they didn't get the tick yet. Alright, they're good. They're happy. Yeah, lack of entertainment. We're gonna start getting negatives from that guy, so we can't do too many of them. So we're gonna need a Fletcher's workshop. 14 days. Is it worth it? Is this even worth it? We can have 12 archers right now. Yeah, well, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm not gonna take a chance that the AI takes him out.
Berries so plump and juicy.
There's no way to force people to pick up supplies. Correct. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, new families are coming in, Josh. Yep, they're coming in because our approval is high enough finally, so that our population growth is positive. It can't be positive for part of the month. It has to be positive for the whole month when the immigration tick happens. So like you could start the month off positive, and then if you have a lot of bad stuff happening throughout the month, it'll tick you down lower below 50, and then you won't actually get the population. So you do have to be careful with that. Something to keep in mind. Oh, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so we got a Fletcher shop. And these guys can no longer collect food because the berries are out and it's out of season, which is fine. We have a lot of food from them. Okay, how are we doing here? We still have a lot of leather. Don't need to worry about that. I'm going to keep these as hides for now. We can actually sell the hides without paying for a trade route. So I might do that. Oh no, we can't do that. What am I thinking? Yeah, no trade allowed on this run. We can convert them whenever then. But we don't want to use up the labor. So what we'll probably end up doing now, let's see, how are we doing? Yeah, we're good on that. So we need at least 5 people to be able to form a militia. Yeah, we're getting raided. I definitely made a couple mistakes here. Like I did some things that were just not necessary. I wasn't focusing enough. I mean, I'm mostly here to answer questions, and I'm doing this to get practice and then have something for you guys to watch. But can you make retinue into bowmen? No, they're always melee. Whatever the retinue start off with is what they stay as. And then if you upgrade them, then you obviously they get better equipment, but they will always be melee. All right, where are they coming in? So the raiders are coming in from here. They may try to intercept. And I really hope they do, because that would save our bacon. We do have enough to kite them, though. If we really have to, we could just kite them around. So it's not the end of the world. We should be able to survive. Keep an eye on him. The AI is not sending anybody yet. That's a little disconcerting. Alright, how many? We got 10. We can get up to 14. Assuming we have the production for it. Now the other thing we could do... Let's see. Yeah, why don't we have idle people. We don't need idle people. Stone, we need more planks. We're gonna need that again. Yeah, that's fine. How are we looking? Yeah, they're still coming. Can you defend versus raiders? Yeah, you can. You just need more than what we have. We can try and kite them. That's what I'm going to try and do here. And if we don't get... I was hoping for the AI to send some of their mercenaries, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that. So I might switch to a different plan here. What I might end up doing... Oh, crap, I can't. We could tag team for sure, but we need to have more planks. Okay, so here's the plan. Let's pull what we have. It's not a lot, but... Now we're going to pull them away. They're going to go after us and not our buildings. Or they're supposed to anyways. Yep, there they go. So we're just going to keep kiting them away. And then as soon as we have enough to build a manor house, we're going to get our retinue out. Disconcerting, that's what I meant, yeah. As soon as that came out of my mouth, I was like, that doesn't sound right, but... it's all good. So we'll let him go. Yeah, we're gonna take him on a tour of the lands. And then if we can get... oh, we need to turn our planks off. That's why we're not getting any, because we need to pause our Fletcher shop so that we don't just use them all. We have 3 more war bows. It's not gonna help though. So we'll just go straight to the edge of the map. And like I said, if we can get our retinue up, we can tag team them, and it should be better. You like to kite? Yeah. Oh, sorry, Halaba, I think I missed your question. Are all storage and granary buildings connected to each other? No, they're not. No, that's a good question. So you can sort of do a workaround. So like, let's say if I have a warehouse right here, or a storehouse right here, and a storehouse down here, I believe if you turn off, like let's say I want to move the barley down there, I could turn barley off as an accepted crop here, and I can turn it on at this one, and I believe they will shift it back and forth. If not, then you just use up the supply you have and then disallow it from being accepted here, and then just have it all go down to that one area. You can eventually get it to equalize out as you use the stuff. That supply won't replenish in the one you don't want, and it will replenish in the one you do want. So definitely use the what do you call it? The filters. Use these filters as much as you can. You can really optimize and make your life a lot easier if you do. Yeah, good question though. Okay, we need to focus on planks. Yeah, I see these guys are just gonna keep going. And I'm really hoping... ooh, we're getting more people moving. That's a good sign too. I'm really hoping the AI sends a mercenary group to help us out, but if they don't, we'll handle it. Yeah, this guy's always going to be upset. And I don't know why this guy doesn't have fuel. Yeah, everybody's doing something. So we should probably... yeah, we should get everybody working. 14 planks. We need 2 more. 2 more to be cut. 2 more logs to be cut, and then we should be in good shape. So the kite continues. Archers are pretty fast, so it... oh boy. Oh, I thought they turned around. Okay. I was gonna say, I've never seen them go back, but... these guys are doing some weird, like, jittering. Alright, that's fine. There we go. We need a single plank, and then we can do what we need to do. Yeah, doing this in year 1 without any starting resources and having people with a lot of disapproval, it's tough. It's hard to get it up early enough to be useful.
Come on, laddie, come on.
Alright, come on, 1 more plank. Okay, we should be good. So I'm gonna pull this person off of planks. Alright, we need to get our manor house down. I don't really care where it goes. I feel like we just probably want it just to get out of the way. So I'll throw it back here. Actually, I might be able to fit a house there, can I? No, no extension though, so we'll put it right there. What about down here though? Yeah, there's no extension. Okay, so this is kind of wasted area. That's fine. So I'm just going to use up this whole thing. Oh, and someone was asking about how do you get more retinue. It's this one right here, the Garrison Tower. Increases the limit by 12. We don't have enough money to pay for that the retinue anyways, so. Is there a bug where farmers won't move wheat to the farmhouse? No, I don't think so. It might be just a priorities issue, like they might be prioritizing something else instead of doing that. Oh, actually, are these guys all dead? Oh, these are empty. This is free money. Yeah, this is just free money right here sitting. I'm going to keep a closer eye on that because I may be seeing that wrong. It's kind of hard to tell. This one is free money as well. Wow, both of these are free money. All right. So we're going to get our manor house up, and then we're going to go take those two, and then we can recruit more. So should be in very good shape.
Come along, lad.
Yeah, approval's still going in the right direction. We have 8, we got 9. We need to make another house. Yeah, we need to make a few more. Question is, where do we want to do it? Because this is like a lot of prime real estate, but what I'll probably end up doing is reserving these as the artisan shops. Yeah, you have AGR, you have to trade. You have to trade for them. If they're too expensive, just get the lambs. The lambs will turn into sheep after a year. They're 10 gold. They're like half the, not half, they're like 33% less. So you can just do that. That'll save you a few. All right, I think it's time to do everybody's favorite. The burbs. Creating suburbs. Okay, how are we doing? Alright, these guys are still going. I'm just gonna focus on this now just to make sure I didn't miss. I don't think I missed it though. I think it's accurate. And again, that has to go to us. We're not going to take anything. The town has to get its own wealth. That's one of the rules. Alright, that manor house needs to be done. Otherwise, we're going to still be in trouble. If this bandit group's still chasing us. It's funny. Alright, let's just focus. We can't do anything until the manor house is done anyway, so let's just focus down here. How did you get to 11? Does manor count as 2 burgage plots? Yeah, so they do. They do. They count as 2 families. But they don't, I don't think they actually use up supply though. And they don't increase your supply. So they're just kind of a neutral thing. They do, if I'm not mistaken, they do use firewood though. Do you need to mass produce tools? So tools are strictly a trade item right now. They don't have any function aside from selling them. If you want to save that to make armor, yeah, you would probably, especially with the patch now that nerf trading, you probably want to do all, you know, as much as you can, so that you can rotate things around. You can't do too much of one thing, or you're just going to have a really imbalanced economy, and you're going to flood the market. And you won't end up making any money. Yeah, this one's unattended as well. I think the AI cleared it, but they didn't take the actual camp out, so they did us a favor. The tough part is we're not going to have any opportunity to make money past this because the AI is going to take both of these lands, and bandits only spawn on neutral territories. So we're going to be out of luck at that point. We're almost there. There we go. We got 300. We can hire 6 more, so we'll have 11 retinue total. As soon as this stupid thing's done. Come on, man. People need to kick it into gear. Yeah, unfortunately, we're already back. Oh, I did not want you to run. If we have to fight on our home turf, so be it. But we really need to get this stone up. I'm gonna pull them away in case we have to. We'll go the other way again. We'll just do a big lap. How do you get regional wealth and influence? So it's all going to have to come from the houses for the regional wealth, and then donating food will be for the influence. We can do that through the manor. We can tithe the food. $20 burgages, and I can't fill a third of them with fuel. 2 of them are fuel. Yeah, you have more than... You only need 1 fuel stall to fill 20 burgage plots with fuel. Interesting. Are you... How far away are your stalls from the warehouse? It's raining. Our archers are going to be almost useless. Tithe does not drop approval, but taxes do. Yeah. So we'll just have to deal with that part. Oh, no, 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 no. Got too far away. We got to get close enough so that they don't raid. Crap. Okay, we got our retinue. Actually, this is perfect timing. Alright, here we go. They're locked on now. Yeah, it's unfortunate. We're gonna have an issue with our archers doing very little damage in the rain. But there's not much we can do about it. Yeah, we're gonna have to produce more food than we use. Yeah, it's one of those things. We'll have to account for it in other ways. Alright, let's get these guys close enough. Now they want to go after our archers. We don't want them to do that. What the hell, dude? That was bogus. That was so stupid. Yeah, I'm not sure why these guys didn't charge when I told them to charge, and why these guys stood there when I told them to go back. That was pretty dumb. Oh well. The peasants I'm not as worried about because we can make the archers. These guys are really expensive. We don't want to lose these, but we're losing them anyways because reasons, I guess. Yep, lost another one. God damn it. John Smith, they're not in the game yet. Yeah, I think you can trade for them, but you can't actually make them, and there's no building to use them on, so... Alright, we got it. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of our troops. That was kind of a disaster, but... Alright, we need to put somebody in the church so they can bury the people. So they're gonna go collect bodies and bury them. Ooh, that was bad. That was actually really bad. Damn. Yeah, we lost most of our archers, and we lost 2 of our retinue, which are... No, we lost 3 of our retinue. The heck? Yeah, that should have been an easy battle. Oh well. Defensive stance? Yeah, the problem is they would have whittled us down. Defensive stance is good if you have good archer superiority, but... It's because they got the charge off. I thought we were going to be able to intercept, but there's like a massive delay between when you give an order to the time they actually do something. So I should have done it sooner, I guess. No, you can do the bodies in the wooden church as well, Jan. So the church and the corpse pit are basically the same thing in terms of body disposal. So these guys will just haul bodies back and bury them here. Yeah, their charge was really effective. Man, they instantly killed a bunch of people. No, it's what it says in the description, but no, they do both. They'll bury both. Yeah, we already replaced our peasants for the most part that died. I think we're only short one person. It's fine. Yeah, they they bury him right here, and you could tell that there's bodies that have been placed in there because they got the little crosses. How to connect a pasture to a sheep farm. My sheep farm says 0 pasture. You don't need to connect it. You just need to have the pasture somewhere on the map, and they will automatically use whatever the closest one is, Frenchie. So the setup is to just... Yeah, put your sheep farm down. Just put your pasture in the back. They will use the capacity of your trading post first, then they'll use your sheep farm, and then if there's any more past that, then they'll start going back, or they'll overflow into the pasture. But yeah, you don't have to worry about it. As long as they're in and there is space, then you're good. So if you go over your livestock, as long as the number on the left for pasture space is bigger than the number on the right, you're fine. You don't have to worry about it. They'll do the work automatically. The sheep farm still says 0. Are you getting the message saying that you don't have space for your animal, like the little picket fence and it's red? If it's giving you the picket fence and it's red saying that they're going to leave if you don't have space, then there might be something going on. But if it doesn't have that, then you're fine. Yep, no problem. Yeah, this church guy's putting in a lot of work. There's a lot of dead bodies. Alright, we do have room for people to move in, and we've got plenty of supplies. Alright, we can probably take the tanner off. We have so much in our storage, we're not going to use it, so let's save that. What I'd like to do is get some more saw pit going, and then we can get this guy making some more bows. We need a bigger bow. That was kind of ridiculous. Oh, I messed up too. Crap. I meant to make a bunch of these. We're gonna get capped. Yeah, I capped myself. Oh man. We're gonna be short one. We'll have to rely on one less archer. Unless I can delete this guy. I don't think you can delete him though. Like if I delete the manor, I don't know. On the sheep farm, pasture says 0 to 4. Yeah, so if it says 0 to 4, then it means you don't have animals. You have space for the animals elsewhere. So they'll, like I said, they will usually use up your, where is it? The livestock trading post first, because there's like 4, I think there's space for 4 there. There's 5 space on the sheep farm. So if you have less than 9 animals, then they're good. They'll just stay in those. Yeah, you don't actually need pasture if you're only doing a couple. If you're trying to do a big operation, then you're going to need more. But for a small operation, you could just do it right out of the livestock trading post or the sheep farm. Sweet, we are getting people moving in. How do I get... Oh, sorry. What's the best thing in the beginning? What should I focus? So in the early game, it depends on what challenge mode you're on. If you're doing default, I would say focus on getting your military up as fast as you can. So get those 5 plots, the burgage plots down. Make sure you get food, clothing, in firewood. Get all those 3 sorted. Get your church down, get your 5 plots, and then build more so that you can get a bigger army. You want to get to 20 people as fast as you can, 20 males. So 10 houses will give you enough to fill your shield wall, your little shield regiment. And then you can take care of the bandits from there and use the money and all that stuff. That's what I would probably focus on. So we can't do veggies yet because we don't have money. We need a little bit more wealth. It's going to take us 15 months just to afford one. Yeah, ale is almost always the biggest bottleneck that I run into. Just about. How do you walk around in third person? Up here, there's a little button. It says visit mode right up here by your portrait. If you click on that, that'll put you down on the ground. Why do you say you will have one less army militia? Hey, Matthew. So you're only allowed to have 6 units between your militia and your retinue. If you fill up your army with 6 retinue before, 6 militia before you get your first retinue, then you actually have 6, and then the retinue actually counts. How do I say it? The retinue just pop out of the manor house. They don't, you can go over your limit if you do the manor house last, is what I'm trying to say. So generally what you want to do is you want to do 6 regiments right off the bat, and then build your manor house, and then just fill them in as you go. You know what I forgot to do is, I forgot to do this because I knew if I did all 6, I wouldn't be able to field a single one. Or you know what I should have done? That would have been smart, is I should have fielded 1. And then once they're out in the field, then I could do the others. And then I could have done the retinue. Yeah, because that 1 would just not, as long as I don't disband it, they would still maintain their numbers. Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. Yeah, market stalls are hard. Yeah, they're tough. How to maximize retinue? You just got to get a bunch of money. It's all about having personal wealth. Usually fighting bandits early on is the best way to expand it, and then later taxing people once you get a good economy going. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a tough time, I think. And then mercenaries are going to mostly be gobbled up by them by the time we have anything useful. That's what I should have done, mercenaries, instead of done the retinue. I should have just done the stupid mercenaries. Oh well. Yeah, so maximizing retinue, basically, once you get enough cash... So I don't think I really answered your question. Once you get enough cash, you come here to your customized retinue, and then you can expand it to 12. And then once you max that out, you go to your castle planner and add this garrison tower. This increases the limit by 12. So you can have up to 24 for every region that has a manor house. So what we would do is we would get a manor house with the extension, get the 24 retinue, then we would start another town in the next region. Get a manor house, get the extension, get 24 retinue. Then we would go to the next region and so on and so forth. So... yeah, Matthew, that's exactly correct. So the retinue counts towards the limit, but if you do it after you already have 6, it doesn't block you from getting them. So you can basically go above your hard limit of 6 regiments, is essentially what the thing is. So generally you want to get your militia maxed and then do the retinue next. Yeah, 1 per now. Well, it's only 1 per now. It's because we need to get our town in order. Once we get that going, we'll be making, 25. Yeah, with 25 burger plots, level 2, we should be fine. Well, it's going to be tough, though. We have to get ale. Yeah, the tavern's going to be a tough one. I don't know. It'll be a rough one. 20 is the core of the town. Yeah, 20 is pretty good. I generally like to go up to like 50 houses at least, but 20 is okay. Yeah, we could claim the region for less. It's going to be tough though because this guy is super aggressive. Like I said before, I messed up the build in this one. I could survive and kind of scratch my way out of it, but it's going to be a rough one. But it's still possible. Like I said, I wasn't really focusing too hard on this. I was more here just to answer questions if anybody had them. So I'll probably do it offline where I can actually just sit down and focus on what I'm going to do. I'll probably map it out before I get into it. But it is good to practice because this is a really tough beginning. The start to this is pretty hard. Yeah, and we didn't get that many of the starting bandits. That would have helped a lot too if we can take them out first. I gotta come up with a better build order so I can get a bow group out like right away. I think I'll work on that. Yeah, because once you take the first one out, you get enough to at least hire a mercenary group and then still have some leftover money, and I would probably go that route and he's claiming another one, so we're going to be landlocked just about. We got one more after that. Does the road affect speed of transporting or walking? Yeah, it seems like it does. Yeah, they move quite a bit faster when there's a road. Now, I believe there's an algorithm for the road, for the pathing though. It seems like sometimes they will go off-road a little bit if it's a nice shortcut, if it's faster, but not always. Well, there's not that many bandits because this guy took them all. They only spawn in neutral territories. They will not spawn in his lands. So that's probably why there's less chance, since there's less territory. Hey, General Grievous. Grievous, how are you? Yeah, one more region. He pretty much took that. We're down to the last one. We can't claim it. We got 610. We're almost there, actually, but it's going to take a while. Alright, did we turn this back on? We did. And we're starting to get war bows. We got 30 planks. Oh, interesting. There's brigands. They're going to go for it. I think we should probably go for it too, though. Especially with 26 archers and the retinue. Let's go take these out so we can get a little bit of cash. But you know what? This guy's done with the bodies. Let's actually put somebody... Let's work on our tiles. So we'll put one person in the clay furnace and one in the mine. It's almost time to harvest berries too, so we need to really focus on getting that so we can get a little cushion. Is this guy coming out yet? Oh, again! I did it again! Holy crap, man. I didn't think they were gonna get there that fast. Yeah, I'm playing like crap right now. Alright, these guys can go back first. It's fine. They're easily replaced. These guys, not so much. Actually, let's just run them. I don't really care. Almost enough to get one. So we can get those 3 back that we lost, or we can save it to hire mercenaries. Do you place the... no, Pedro, you don't have to place the mine. So, like, if you look right here, I have a stonecutter camp. They actually walk to it manually and do it. So you don't have to put it near it. And they'll bring the stone back. I usually just put it kind of close to the storehouse. I don't usually put it right next to it. You can do both, but yeah. They work far away. Yeah, they'll just walk across the field, grab it, and bring it back here. Either way would be fine, but I usually just put it close to where the people live. It's not that big of a deal. But you could put it directly on it if you want, and they'll harvest it faster, but like I said, you don't need a whole lot of stone in general, so... You could put on it. Yeah, it's fine. You could put it on it. It's not that big of a deal. Faster way to get development points. Now, the only way is just to rush getting the upgrades. So, like in this case, you know, Burgers Plot 2, Burgers Plot 3, all that stuff. You gotta rush that part. Yeah, you can kite them and then take their camp out without having to engage. Tiberius, yeah, they changed a few things. They added quite a big nerf to trading, so you can't spam the market with stuff. It'll increase or decrease the price based on the volume. So they definitely nerfed trade. And then they also changed chicken coops, so they don't produce as many eggs. They produce basically half of what they were doing before. Hey, Ghost. There's a few other things. It seems like combat feels a lot deadlier now than it did before. So it feels like they upped the difficulty with combat. That's definitely different. I'm sure there's more. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play with it though. I was working on a guide yesterday and I got just a couple hours. So which add-ons to burgers do you recommend? So AGR, I generally, with the changes to the chicken coop, I would probably go vegetable garden first until you have enough to support your your population, whatever they need for that. And then I would probably go chicken coop next. And then I would do apple orchard last for the extensions. And then obviously the other extensions, if you need the goats, like right now, we don't need a goat shed because we have a rich deposit of wild animals, so I probably won't need any goat sheds this one, or maybe a little bit. And then as far as the other extensions, it just depends on what you need and what you're trying to build. Like I've got a Fletcher's shop because we needed to have a cheap weapon, so we've got some archers. Watching your videos past week, I appreciate that. Can you increase food supply and start tithe to get 1,000 influence before Baron claim? Yeah, we could. We probably could. I don't know that I'm going to. Having the extra piece of land isn't going to help us any though, because we can't afford to spend that money on that. We need to have the money for mercenaries, or we need to have it for, you know, something else. I don't think we spend it starting a new colony. We can barely get this one off the ground. We got more people, we're moving in. We really need to get a few things situated here. Oh, we need more. Yeah, we need more stone. Let's put somebody on that. How's our tiles? Why do we not have any tile? Or we don't have any clay. Why don't we have any clay? Oh, we're getting raided already. Jeez, we just dealt with one. Yeah, on the tough difficulty, they poured on pretty thick. And this time it's going to be 2. So we're probably going to have to hire mercenaries. I'm going to give it just a second to see if the AI hires some to fight them. I don't think they will, though. Hey, Lovitz. I probably butchered that. I don't remember how to pronounce the L with the line through it, but... Well, shoot. I remember reading on how to do that before, but... Lovix? How you doing today? Yeah, they're not... It doesn't look like they're going to hire mercenaries, so let's do it right now, just in case we have to bring them from a pretty far distance. Ooh, interesting. We could do a really cheap one. That'd save us quite a bit of money. And it might be enough. I think it's enough, actually. Oh, man, they're coming from a... Yeah, they're coming from the edge of the map. That's not good. Well, we'll probably have to kite them. Just for... Oh, of course they hired mercenaries after we just did ours. What a game. They waited for us to hire and then they did theirs. That's silly. What are they? Oh, they're going after our mercenaries. That's fine, actually. Oh, Mr. Meat, when you guide, saw you streaming, was gonna try the game with no guide, but the war, I'm already confused. Yeah, it's... Eric, it's... It's a fun game to learn, but I would say it's probably, unless you have a lot of time to dedicate to it, it's probably a bit more frustrating than it is fun in the beginning stage. The fun really happens when you start kind of understanding how the systems work together, and then you can put your own game plan together and kind of do what you want to do. But getting to that point can be tough, so yeah, that's why I wanted to get the guide out before the game even launched, give people a little head start. They did change a few things since that, but luckily I think the guide's still pretty much intact. It's just you can't spam trade like you were able to before. Is the game worth to buy? I think so. I think so. Kieran, size does not matter in terms of goat pen. No, make it as small as you can, so it takes up less space. Yeah, at least you went cheap. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad I decided to go with the cheap one. I mean, we can handle it for sure, because these guys will go first, they'll take the brunt, and then the other guys will come in to flank and stuff, so. Oh, they're gonna switch. Well, so be it. Yeah, there's not much we can do about it. They were already kind of on top of them. Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on this. We don't want to pay for them again. And we'll just get rid of them as soon as these guys are gone. Yeah, they're gone. Oh, they're claiming the last one. So they might try and claim this one as well, so we might actually be dead here. The conditions for the upgrade. Oh, yeah, just make, for the goat shed, it doesn't matter how big it is, just make it small, so it doesn't take up as much space. Yeah, that's how I usually do it. What materials? The Fletcher workshop uses planks to make the war bows. Actually, speaking of which, we can pause that for a bit. Yeah, let's actually pause that. We don't want him to go overboard. You know what we could do that might be interesting? What if we were to hire mercenaries to contest this guy? We have enough to hire these two. That would be more than enough, actually. Or actually these two. 140? Yeah, we have enough. So what I'm going to do is contest. Let's have some fun. Like I said, this isn't... I'm not going to save this. I want to record from the beginning. I'll do it offline. Let's just have some fun. How many of those perks do you get? Oh, yeah, Kieran. So... I gotcha. So if you reach the max size, you can get 6 perks. So you always want to plan as if you have 6 to spend. So you kind of map it out. Obviously, 5 is really easy to reach. The 6th one, you do have to kind of go deep with the tier 3 plots. So maybe 5 is a safe one, but 6, if you really push it, you can get it. So... How to make money fast in the beginning. Hey, Unity. Trade is going to be your fastest way if you don't have combat enabled. So just... Like, one of the easiest things you can trade is hides. They sell for 4, I think. And you don't need that many. You just need a little bit of leather to cover your people. If you can get them to leather and then pay for the trade route, leather's pretty good. War bows are decent because you just need some planks to do that. There's a lot of stuff. Just sell anything that's decent price and doesn't take a lot of labor, because in the early game you don't have a lot of people to do that. The other thing, if you can get a small army first or quickly, then you can take out... Oh, interesting. If you can get an army out quickly, then you can take out bandits and make money. Oh, crap. It pulled them in too. Alright, let me answer some questions here before I get distracted by this battle. I've seen family request market stalls. I've seen this for hunting camp. A little help, I'm confused. Don't you go into that, but I appreciate it. Yeah, so Eric, when they say they want market stalls, that just means that they have enough supplies and they have something that they think would sell on the market. So like the hunting camp, they would sell the meat, so they want to start a food stall. If you already have your, like for example right now, this place is fully covered. We've got food, We've got fuel and clothing. I mean, we're missing a couple tier 2 because we have one burgage plot. But let's say if this was still burgage plot level 1, we wouldn't need to open a stall because everything's covered. So just in that case, just ignore it. But if you did have, if you were short, then you could make more market stalls, and they'll allow you. They'll start selling their stuff in there. So. Also been loving, watch your channel, love it. I appreciate that. Hey, Lawrence, how are you? Yeah, the game's fun. What exact difference it has with Total War games? The mechanics will surprise Total. I don't know that anything here would surprise a Total War veteran, to be frank. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. It's a fun game, don't get me wrong, but it's pretty light on the combat. Shout me out. Hey, Lawrence. Shout you out twice now. Hope you're having a good day. So this is probably a lost cause. They got way too many people, so we're just going to... we could just let this default, like if you take on a battle, like for example, if they didn't have these 3 guys, we could win this battle no problem, because we could hire mercenaries to take them on, and then we have our own archers and retinue. This is too tough of a battle to handle. We'll probably still fight it just because it's kind of fun. And let's see what else. Yeah, I kind of want to get started on my playthrough, to be honest. And it doesn't seem like there's that many people showing up. I was expecting a couple hundred, like 300-400, but it's been kind of small. It's all good. Caps lock doesn't matter. So let's go out with a bang. Let's get a good battle going. We'll try and do some fancy stuff, maybe some kiting. So we want them to get in place. We only have enough money to hire our mercenaries for a single month. We're gonna go for these guys and these guys. Where are they coming from? So we'll have them meet right here. We're gonna pull these guys separately. And we don't want to tire our troops out, so let's not do that. Here we go. How do you get influence to take over another area? You do it through combat, and if you don't have any combat going, then you need to tithe at your manor house. Under the taxes tab, you can add a tithe, and that'll convert food over to influence. So that those 2 ways are the best ways. You can also upgrade your church. Every time you upgrade your church to tier 2, you get 250, and for every manor house you build, you get 250. So as you expand to different territories, you can get up to 500 just by building buildings. So that helps. Yeah, bandit camps are definitely the easiest way to do it. I would agree with that. All right, we need to fight this very quickly because 29 days, we don't have money to pay these guys, and they're going to get pretty pissed. So let's get out of here. Hopefully we don't get them to come after us. Or, you know, maybe we get them to chase after us and then they'll lose their stamina. There we go. Yep, they're going to chase. Sweet. All right, we can draw them out. Maybe we can get a little bit of defeat and detail going on. If we can get them out away from their main force. Wait, what? What just happened? They must have changed it. You used to be able to move out of the circle. Now, I guess not. Oh, that was a massive letdown. We just spent all that money for nothing. It's kind of funny. Interesting. So once the battle starts, you have to stay in the circle. It used to be the case where you still had time even if you left the circle a little bit. But I guess not. How to conquer another region. So Sandrock, once you get enough influence, this number up here, you zoom out and then you click on a region that you want to claim, and then down here it says claim with influence. Get down here so it's not covered. Claim with influence. If it's occupied by the Baron, it's going to cost 2,000. If it's free, if it's neutral, like if it's still not claimed by anybody, then it's only going to cost you 1,000. So just build up. If early game, it's easier to do it because the AI doesn't take over it too fast. But once you get to this point and they own a bunch of land, then it's going to be a little harder because you're going to have to spend 2,000 per territory. But it's still doable. Yeah, and anticlimactic. 100% agree. That was a bummer. Oh well. Yeah, they're probably going to attack us and take the region. Like I said, I wasn't really paying attention that well in this one. This is going to make a much better Let's Play than a live stream because this is a pretty tough challenge, as you can already tell. There's like there's a certain time period where you're just very vulnerable, and if you don't do everything in the right order on time, you're going to pretty much lose everything. Let's cut these guys loose before I forget about them. Lesson hard learned, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'd rather do it now than, you know, in a real campaign where I'm actually trying to get all the way to the end. Now you have to actually prevent them to get to your region. Yeah, they're just gonna, what they'll do is after some time they will actually try and claim the region. And then we'll have to fight them. We don't have any money to fight them with, so we're basically just gonna get swallowed whole, but that's fine. We'll answer a few more questions and then yeah, I'll probably get back to doing it offline, and I'll have it edited and turned into a Let's Play when I'm done. So, yeah, no problem, Saad. Saad. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. Alright, what do we need to do here? We still saw they're spotting that guy that was on his way out. Was this just challenging, or did you make it even harder, mate? No, it's hard. This is really hard. If you turn everything to max and you start during the winter time with no resources, no starting weapon equipment drop, all the approval rating and the requirements by the villagers are maxed, it's actually pretty hard. Oh, is apiary a good perk? No, it's not. So the apiary has a very slow production rate. There's other foods that you can get faster. So apologies for asking again, but is there a fertility rating for the backyard vegetable plots? No, that's a good question, Curtis. No, they all produce the same no matter where they're at. Yeah, that's a good question though. Bam, how do you hire mercenaries? So under your army tab, you click the plus sign, and then you see this little hire mercenary button all the way on the right. That'll pull up who's available. And we broke, so we can hire the single brigands, and that's about it. Who deleted Sandor's BS chat? I did not delete anything. And I don't think I have any mods on right now, so must have self-deleted it. Yeah, Josh, I've done some test runs where I actually went pretty far, and then it was on the old patch, but I was able to field almost a full group of militia, and then one full group of retinue, and then they did the update. I think I had like 60 or 70 houses, so it was a solid town, and I think I could have done it, but then obviously the patch changed and my save file went bad, which is fine. They told us it was going to happen, so I knew it was coming. Worth parking the retinue at a new colony to keep it safe. Yeah, JP, I agree. Yeah, I would definitely have somebody babysitting, because if you get raided and they come from that province at the edge of the map, there's no way you get there in time, and they will kill everybody. How do you feel militia just through growth? Yeah, pretty much. So you have to make sure that you have enough people and enough weapons. So right now the bottleneck is people, right? 32. Yeah, our bottleneck is people right now. So we have just about enough to fund one full group, but not quite. All right, we can upgrade this. That'll give us enough to claim the land. Well, we can't know because they're all, yeah, there's no independent ones. Is there Arabic language in the game? Not that I've seen. I have no clue though. restricting exporting on this run makes it improbable to accomplish. No, it's doable. Like I said, I've gotten pretty far in. I had a decent income going too. I had all the mortgage plots upgraded and stuff. Defensive buildings, no, the defensive buildings don't do anything. They're just placeholders right now. He will add it at some point, but right now it's just for looks. Alright, so we'll upgrade that. Yeah, I'm just kind of not even really playing at this point. But like I said, my main goal with this one is just to answer questions and stuff, so it's not a big deal. We'll expand our town a little bit. Is there a reliable way to get new families in? Yeah, so AGR, there's only one way to get families in. You have to, well, two things have to happen. You have to have available burgage plots that are empty, and you have to have your approval above 50% for the whole month. If your approval is less than 50, you will not have positive population growth. So if this right here, this total population, always hover your mouse over this to see what's going on. It'll tell you no population growth right now because there's no burgage plots available. If our approval was lower, then it would say no population growth, approval is too low. So this thing will tell you what's going on. So if you're ever not sure, just hover your mouse over here. But yeah, you need housing that's empty, and you need approval higher than 50. Or no, sorry, you need approval at 50 or higher. Yeah, no trading exactly. Hey Richie, yeah. So I was showing somebody how to set up their farming plots in the early game if you're going to do it manually. If you're going to do what do you call it? If you're going to do crop rotation, you don't want them this big. This is too big. But if you're going to do it manually and micromanage it, then these are fine sizes actually. There's two ways to do farming. You can do it manually like this, where you just flip it on and off by yourself, or you set it to crop rotation and then you let the AI handle it. When you do crop rotation, you only have 3 months out of the year for the most part where you can actually get stuff done. Which means if you have too big of a plot size, then they may not get everything done and it'll be a waste of time. If you do it manually, you're actually just fine making it big. It's not a big deal, because if they don't finish it, they'll just come back next year to finish it. So, but yeah, you're right. If you're doing crop rotation, these are very inefficient sizes for the most part. I would probably make them smaller. Same size, but I would have it multiple. You know, I'd break this up into 3 each and then rotate it that way. 100% no trade as in no more oxen. You can get oxen, you just need to save up money. Yeah, Burgage Plot 2. The problem with having Burgage Plot 2 is you need beer. Otherwise, these guys get pissed off really fast. So you can't upgrade too many of these guys, or you're going to stall your population growth because of low approval. It's a balancing act for sure. And like I said, I've done it before. It's not that bad. It would be easier to do if you had the farming one, because then you can make your own ale. Here, I would probably do a little bit of ale just to keep some of them happy, but for the most part, it's going to be tough. You're going to want to expand to another place and then pull the ale in from there, most likely. Malakian, I missed it. So actually, I missed a couple questions. Shoot. I got fuel issues. What is the best way to solve? So Saad, what I would do is, if you have the extra perk point, I would put it into charcoal burning. If you add a charcoal burner, I think you'll probably solve all of your issues, because then you have firewood and you have charcoal that can satisfy their shortages. So if you do that, see if that works. If that doesn't work, then you probably have your stalls too far away from your houses. Or sorry, you have your stalls too far away from your storehouse. So your stalls should generally be right next to your granary and your storehouse. I did it wrong here because this was just from the very beginning phase. I'm going to delete them and move it over here. But yeah, if you add charcoal burner, it would make a big difference for you, I think. And then I have a GeForce Malakian. I have a GeForce GT 730 on my potato low graphics setting. Yeah, I have no idea if it'll run. I couldn't tell you. I don't know technical stuff that well. Like, I couldn't estimate if this would work well or not. So, sorry about that. Briefly explain sheep. Are they difficult to deal with? Hey, North, so not really difficult. Basically, you just pull them in. You put them in a livestock trading post, you pull them in. Just like the other ones, you set your import, you set it to import, and you set how many you want. And then you put somebody on the sheep. Where are you? Set one person on sheep farm, and then they'll handle this. They'll share the sheep when they can, and that's it. It just does. And then once you have that, then you need to set up a weaver's workshop, and they'll turn that into yarn. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest. The tricky part is getting the sheep there. You have to set up the import. So you put somebody on livestock trader, and then you import. They'll go to the edge of the map to pull them in. So. Yeah, you could ask for a refund if it doesn't work. That's a good point. Yeah, no problem, Saad. No problem. All right, let's. I'm gonna go for another few minutes, and then if we don't have any other questions, I'll probably shut it down. I gotta go eat lunch. It's kind of a short stream. I didn't expect that many people to be on, to be honest, but maybe I'll do another one later. Yeah, I gotta get a little bit more experience in this patch, just so I know everything, making sure everything is what I thought it was. There's some things that did change for sure, but I'm gonna be putting out some guides soon. Yeah, no trading makes it harder. It makes it... Yeah, it makes it harder to get a little bit of momentum, but once you get momentum going, it's fine. It's not too bad. Yeah, like I said, this is a solid starting area. It's fine. Are you uploading this? This will probably go live as a VOD, yeah. I'm not going to have it edited on the Let's Play channel, though. This was just for a Q&A. I appreciate it, Lawrence. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat something soon. I would have been further along with exporting aloud. 100%, yeah. You're off too. All right, have a good day. Yeah, have fun. If you're playing Manor Lords, have fun. Like I said, I'll start working on the guide soon. I didn't quite finish the one that I had in mind in time, and then they changed a few things in the launch, so it's probably best that that happened that way anyways. How to get 5 perks, but I don't need the 5th perk. See what I need. Well, you can see them all on the thing, right? You can just plan it out. You just hover over it. So these are locked. These are not in the game yet. The only ones that are in the game are the ones that you can actually see. So just ignore it. If you don't see a picture, just ignore it. It's not there. Yeah, if you're not playing the Manor Lords, don't have fun. Hey, Yorkie, final thoughts on the game? I think it's good if you like city building. I've got like 160, almost 170 hours in the game in like 3 weeks. So, and I'm still enjoying it. I'm still having fun. I think the replay value is a little bit less than I'd like to see it, but you know, it's not a complete game yet. Once they add the AI city building and some other things, I think it's going to have a lot more replay value. Adding more maps, more buildings. I know they plan on doing more buildings, more burgage plot tiers. Like, it's not going to go up to 3, it'll go up higher than that. They'll have a lot more trade goods and weapons and things like that that they're going to add to the game, so it's going to be pretty good. Oh, yeah, when you hover it over, it tells you what you need to get to the next tier. So like if we upgrade one burgage plot, we'll have then we'll go to a medium village, which will give us another perk. No, I was just showing somebody how to set up their farm, or how I would set up my farm if you're going to do it manually. This is a good setup for manual. If you're going to do crop rotation, this is not a good setup. So that's kind of what I was showing. But yeah, I don't even have, you can see I don't even have the farmhouse. So yeah, it's reasonable. I think it's reasonable. Oh man, yeah, I was kind of bummed about that last fight. I feel like we probably could have won it actually. I think we might have had a chance. Yeah, make some vodka. That'd be pretty funny. All right, well, it looks like the questions are dying down, so I think I'm gonna cut it here. Like I said, I'm gonna start working on this challenge, and then I'll get that uploaded to the Let's Play channel at some point, and I'll start working on some guides once I get enough working on the on this patch, because like I said, they did change some things. So apples for apple cider, yeah, or for some cider. I think they do. I think the ale house is supposed to have more than just the one. Tips for food. So my biggest tip for food is to just get as many different types as you can, because if you rely on one food source, that one food source needs to feed the whole population for the entire year. If you add a second food source, then you only need half as much to feed the whole population. If you add 4, you only need 1/4 as much. So, you know, if you try and feed your whole population with eggs, it's going to be hard. Everything is going to have a chicken coop. If you have 4 different food types, then only 1/4 of your houses need to have chicken coop to sustain. So just add more food types. Vegetable garden's a good one to start with. Chicken coop's good when you get more money. Apple orchard's fine. You know, make some bread. Hunting is really not a reliable source past the early game because it doesn't produce enough meat. But then berries are pretty reliable source if you get enough people on it early enough. So yeah, there's a bunch. Optimal length of houses, I generally like to make it as small as possible, but still get an extension plot. Unless you're trying to build the veggie plot. If you're doing a veggie plot, you probably want to have it at least 4 house lengths long. So something like this, or maybe a little bit longer, would be ideal. I would probably go a little longer, actually. I'd probably go something like this. That's about 1, 2, 3, 3.5. 3.5 to 4 is a good length, something like that. So, oh, we got a few questions. I'll stay a little bit longer. Hey, Retrofly, struggling for fuel homes. I have over 200 firewood, but the market's always empty of firewood. So that usually means that you have, you probably have a lot of people. You have a lot of houses, and they're using up the supply faster than you can replace it. Most likely. So Retro, I'm going to assume that you have something like this where you have a woodcutter's lodge that's far away from the market stall, and they're the ones running the stall. That's probably what's going on. So what you probably want to do in that case is take the worker off of your woodcutter lodge, make sure you have a worker at the warehouse, and put him back on and let him run the wood stall. Here, pull these guys off. Wait, who's running? Yeah, there we go. So generally, especially in the early game, you want to have all of your markets stalls ran by the warehouse workers, because they have access to everything, right? They can do the firewood, they can do the leather, and then what you want to do is you want to put your market stalls right next to it, as close as possible. So I'm only going to do 3 here. So like that. I already have market stalls here. I'm going to delete them, and then they'll move everything. That's fine. Yeah, so this setup right here, you should not have issues with stalls running out and not having full coverage. If you do have coverage issues, then it means you probably have too many people for one stall to handle. So you could probably increase that to another one. Nice to meet you as well, Lawrence. Thanks for showing up. But yeah, Retro, so I would go in that order. I would make sure that your stall worker is in the warehouse. Then I would make sure that the market is close to the warehouse. And if you're still having issues, add more market stalls. I would go in that order. So that should help you a lot. Firewood is usually the easiest one to satisfy out of all of them, but it's the fastest to deplete. So if you don't have your marketplace close to your storehouse that has the firewood, then yeah, it'll run out fast. So I would do that. That should solve your problem. Eric, population's increased by having a high approval and having space for people to move into. So as long as you have empty houses built and you have high approval, they'll move in on their own. What's the distance houses will travel to the market? They don't, actually. Yeah, so Retro, if you I'm about to end the stream. If you go back to the beginning of the stream, I explained it like 2 or 3 different times, but essentially nobody travels to the market. The only one that travel to the market stall are the people that work there to restock it. The goods are actually transported through thin air, basically. So you just need to make sure you have enough. Yeah, it's kind of a long explanation. So what I would do is, if you look at the timeline of this let's play this live stream, go back to the first like 10 minutes or so. Let me see if I can find it actually. Yeah, I'm talking about it within the first 10 minutes. I can already see it for sure. 15 minutes. I do it twice. It should be pretty easy to find. But I would go back there and look at that. I explained it fully twice, so try and find that. The market stalls are complicated. It took me more than 10 hours to figure out how it works exactly, so I would do that. Hope you have a good day. I appreciate it. Can you get the fertility up further than starting fertility by leaving it in fallow? No. So if you look at these have been in fallow almost the whole game, and they're still very low. Yeah, there's a cap. That's actually a good question. I thought about that too. I thought maybe I can raise some of these up, but no, and you can see right here, like there's a little divot where it's actually less fertility. It didn't go up though. It didn't go up. Now, if you drain it, this area is specifically cut for that. So if you leave it on fallow, it'll go back up to this limit though. But yeah, you can't make it higher than that. Good idea though. Yeah, no problem, Retrofly. Like I said, I did it. I know I talked about it twice, and if you're going past like 20 or 30 minutes, that's too far. I think the first 10 to 15 minutes is when I talked about it. Videos are great. I appreciate that. At what pop would you start using farm? Kilvaro, good question. I generally don't like using farms personally, but you need to use them at some point to get barley and all that stuff. So probably around like 20 to 25 is when I would start to switch into adding farms. Like even right now, we don't have enough people to work the farms. Or if we do work the farms, we don't have enough people to get any meaningful yield out of it. So I would probably wait till you have 20 to 25, and then you can start working it efficiently. You really want to throw 8 people at it when you can, and then pull them off to do something else during the winter time. That's what I would probably say. Fertilize the ground with crown poop. Yeah, that'd be nice if you could. How big should you make your farm fields? So Calvaro, it's kind of complicated. It depends on if you're going to do it manually or if you're going to do it with the crop rotation, let the AI do it. I would recommend for your first couple farms, just do it manually. So just make farm fields like this. You set it to wheat, and then whoever's in your farmhouse will work this whenever they have time, right? It doesn't matter what season it's in, they'll just kind of do it. And then you just watch it. As soon as it hits 100% on the growth, there'll be 4 stages. It'll be plowing, sowing, growing, and then harvesting. As soon as your growing goes to 100%, then you click harvest early, and then they will come out there and cut it down right then and there, and then pull the stuff back. Make sure that you take it off of forced early harvest after you're done, and then put it back to fallow. Because if you don't, this thing will probably be at like 0%, and then they'll replant a 0% field, which is obviously a waste of time. So make sure you take it off of forced early harvest after you get the stuff off, and then put it back to fallow. That will get you past the early game, no problem. And then once you want to do the crop rotation, then it's a whole different. I got to do a video for that because that's kind of complicated to explain right now at the end of a stream. But yeah, I would start with that. Especially if your town's small, just do it manually. Set it to whatever you want to get out of it. Force harvest at 100%. Take it off, then put it back to fallow when you're done, and then you should be in good shape. Hey, Carbe. No, it's okay. I'll stay as long as there's questions. I'll stay a little bit longer. Yeah, I have no problem with that. Make sure I didn't miss any before that. I don't think so. Josh, thanks for the content in the Q&A. Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it. Thanks for showing up. Okay, now I got your question now, Carbe. So I have another question. What benefit, if any, is there to having a family on the small stable? Yeah, good question. So the hitching post and the small stable, by putting somebody there, basically you have somebody on standby to use this. So like if you're building a lot of buildings, if you don't have somebody at the hitching post, you basically have to wait for somebody to become free. They will walk all the way over to the hitching post, grab the ox, and then walk all the way back to the where the building location is. If you have somebody ready to go, they actually they're basically on standby, only able to use the ox. So you get a little bit faster delivery times. It can help with that. I personally don't really use it, but I could probably min-max it a little better if I did. So yeah, you can, but I personally, I've never done it in a real campaign, and I've been just fine. So again, could you get some efficiency out of it? Probably, but is it worth it? I don't think so. Not for the amount of time you have to micromanage it. There's already so much micromanagement required in this game that I don't think you need to add any more to your list. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, what else? Did I miss any other ones after that? I don't think so. All right, sweet. Yeah, I think we're good on the questions. I'm going to cut it and go get some food, and then I'll start recording. But anyways, I appreciate everybody that showed up. Hopefully this was helpful, and I've got some guides in the works, and like I said, a Let's Play, so that'll be coming out soon. Gonna watch your guide after the stream for sure. Also, if there's anything in the guide I should disregard to. So the only thing with if you're talking about the grandma guide, there's two things that have changed since I did that. One is that you need more chicken coops, but even though I said in that one just to build 5, you can be fine. You'll be fine with 5. Just follow the guide. It's fine. The other thing is selling stuff. If you sell too much of something, it'll lower the price. So that will affect the guide a little bit, because I did set up some trade there, but it's not that big of a deal. You should, if you get to the end of the guide, and you should have enough knowledge to know that, okay, you got to drop the price, or the price is dropped, you stop selling it, and then maybe produce something else to sell. So just switch it to something else, because I think in that one we were producing, what were we producing, actually? My brain is going blank. Yeah, you could switch it to something less. You can make war bows. You can make clay tiles to sell. You can make all kinds of stuff. If you have iron, you can make tools to sell those, and then you just kind of rotate them around as the price drops. So that's one thing that you can do. So okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go eat lunch, chat with the wife for a little bit, and then I'll get back to work. So anyways, I appreciate you guys showing up. We will see you on the next one. Take care.